Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pain. We really sick of standing outside and to push them all aside. It's what you.
There you go, baby. Now, obviously, Jason, that machine gun was aimed at you, bro. Just to be clear.
Wait, what?
That machine gun was aimed at you, bro.
Oh my god,
dude, your face during that was so great, so classic.
I'm just like, why are you showing this stuff?
You missed it, dude. I dropped this. I think I'm dumb. I dropped that on Jason, bro. You should see his face, dude. Oh my god. Well, that ties right in, folks. That ties right into Star Wars. It ties right into Mandalorian season 3, right? I mean, what could be more interconnected than like the African American version of Grogu dancing and shit with a machine gun, right? In a bathroom with some dude taking a shit. And two chicks fucking, half naked, fucking dancing and shit, right?
It's like get any better than
it's like the cantina, right? Scene from the original Star Wars film, right? Except more, futuristic.
Yeah,
more real time.
Put it into the new age.
Yeah, since we're, there you go, folks. Since we're living in the, the Inception dimension these days, a lot of times it seems in our culture and society. Anyways, folks, we've got the real Wrath of Khan up in our ass. Now that he's had this instant name change, do you feel more powerful already, Jassim?
Yes.
You feel, you know what? Isn't it amazing how a title will do that for you? Anyways, folks, we're here to do part 1 of I've never done something I've never done before ever myself. Or had a chance to moderate before, and I'm very humbled to be able to do it, and very humbled to have good people to come on that know Star Wars really well, know the lore, have the knowledge to back me up and whatnot. And we're going to bust off a 3-part, 3-Sunday series and just, try to, I guess, in the best way possible without getting too deep in the lore and without getting too deep in each episode. Sort of just, do a breakdown and a recap of what went down in season 3, how things tied up into season 2, which, Leach and Jess were going to step me up and help me out with. And then sort of our projections for season 4 on the last one, right? Where we see things going with, the Ahsoka series, the Bad Batch, stuff me and Leach have talked about personally, individually. Stuff Jasmine and I haven't had a chance to talk about, but we'll talk about in the show, hopefully. Right? How they're going to interconnect all this and whatnot. Filoni, Favreau, and I'm sure all of you that, those of you that I never really thought about are probably part of the Star Wars fandom and do watch our videos on YouTube and catch us live on all the different platforms we're on, which we appreciate. I hope that you feel like we're doing a good enough job here to, talk about with the right respect and like with the right, credibility, information, to entertain you, yet also deliver the sort of fan service that I believe you deserve. Right? Just because of the fact that, if anything, Favreau and Filoni have really fucking taken, things in a direction where I like it. And I'm excited enough, to where I'm thinking I'm going to just start buying the novels and whatnot and everything and get all crazy. So eventually we'll have Gunnar, Hammer himself, back on here. Hammer for Hammer Time for a couple parts of this. Yeah. We've got Matt from Blackland Collective Podcast. He'll be on the panel. We've got William from Geek Outlet Podcast. He's going to make his way over for a show. We've got all kinds of motherfuckers coming on. But we're starting off with Wrath of Khan and Leach. Jason Leach from DJB Productions.
Absolutely.
What's up, brother?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm just waiting for my fucking my baby grand piano to come in the mail.
Nice.
You
play?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can tell. Considering the fact that I don't even know how to use either one of my high-performance laptops at all, yeah, I can play the piano definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Yep.
Cool.
Maybe I can play the piano during the 5 o'clock free crack special. Only in that time area. No, brother. I have no artistic musical talent at all. I'm just some asshole with a Band-Aid poster.
There you go.
That I saw live, folks. Hell yeah. At Rockville, baby. It was awesome. After I got done with the massage parlor. So, Wrath of Khan, I feel so different calling you that, Jassim. Little brother. You have all this prestige now. Like, now I feel like you're my bigger brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the shit's been reversed on me. You game changed me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that, bro?
Let's just say more people started talking about Star Trek with me, and I'm like, maybe I'll slowly embrace it, starting with this name change.
You know what? Wait a minute. Is this going to be some kind of profound leap of you back into content creation or something like that?
Maybe.
Ooh. You know what? I told you last time we talked that maybe that was a direction you might consider going in to kind of get yourself back on track, right? Hey,
Yeah, I guess for now, I'd rather support you, Jeff.
hey, that's very kind of you, brother. I really appreciate that. And just so you know, Jason and folks, I'm not going to name any names or throw titles out and whatnot, but on this little dicky platform called Rizzle that me and Jasmine started on, this dude put up some fucking sick stats as an individual content creator, some seriously sick stats.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, Jasmine, overall, you put up bigger numbers than I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. And that's how I met him, talking stock markets and shit and talking economics and whatnot back in the day.
Oh, that's very cool. I'll have to check out your stuff.
Yep.
Oh, it's gone, actually.
I know. Can you believe that, Jess? I told you they purged us, man.
Oh, no, I actually deleted mine personally.
Oh, they purged mine on their own.
Oh.
They facelifted Rizzle, and they deleted all of our channels. The channels are there, but all of our old content's not there.
That's crazy.
To find it now. Search it. Because they're going in a new direction, bro. They're a new world that they're going in, right?
I mean, hey, best of luck to them. We'll see.
Hey, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The owners over there that live over in your direction, your area. So
I know. I've never met them personally.
Well, I'll tell you what. They've got all kinds of diversity going on with their staff, since every single person in there is Indian, of Indian descent, right? You know, but then they did have one white guy they added once I made the complaint video. That was just like they created a white dude's image, and he's like a digital white dude. They added to his staff.
A digital white dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's on the end of the staff. They added him, right? He has no actual title. He's just a white dude. That's obviously like just drawn up. But you know what? There you go, folks. That's the efforts. Good efforts for for inclusivity and diversity there. But no, so Star Wars, all right. Dave Filoni starting right off, I guess, right. And folks, please ring that bell, subscribe, like this video, but ring the bell more than anything, because that's when you know we're live. All right, that's what we care about. But now, starting with you, Jason, since you'd be the senior here on the show, and I'll go to you, Jasmine, Real Wrath of Khan, if you don't mind me switching things up. Dave Filoni, please tell me, what has Dave Filoni done to bring back, the luster or re-engage the engines, right? Of, I guess, the fandom, right? And then on top of that, drag people like me in.
Yeah, well, Dave Filoni started with the Clone Wars. I believe that was his first project. And the Clone Wars took off. Like the first season, honestly, was like really geared towards kids. But I think they found that they got a lot of adult fans watching at the same time. So they really matured the storyline and wasn't so, kid relatable. Although at the same time, whoever was still there after season one is they're hooked and they're stuck into it. So I think they did the right thing by turning it more adult, because honestly, it lost me at season one. And then as Rebels was starting, I really got into Rebels, and then I'm like, shit, I need to go back and see, what I missed, and I saw like the key episodes, the ones that you really needed to see. I looked it up on YouTube, and so I watched some of the more important episodes of the Clone Wars, got to know a lot of the characters. Ahsoka immediately became one of my favorites. And so then Rebels had started, which takes place, I believe, maybe, 5-10 years after the Clone Wars. It's another Filoni story telling arc. And that was phenomenal. That was probably my favorite Star Wars project up until these newer projects. But so then Rebels really led into like Rogue One and Star Wars.
Where did that all come out? Where did Rebels come out, and where did Clone Wars come out? Where did they actually put that?
Okay, Clone Wars was what happened between episode 2 and 3.
No. I mean, where did they put it out? There was no Disney Plus then, right?
Oh, it was Disney Plus.
It was okay.
The Clone Wars was Disney Plus or Disney XD, something like that. No, it was Disney XD. I'm sorry. So it was a cable network, what have you, and then eventually, and there was Netflix did some stuff for them, and then when Disney Plus started, everything got pulled and brought into under the Disney Disney Plus umbrella. So Yeah, so then Rebels led into Rogue One, and then obviously A New Hope, and then there's a little time jump, and that's when the Mandalorian started. That's the next Dave Filoni project, and Jon Favreau jumped on, who is an amazing writer, also a great filmmaker too. And so now we've got like 5 shows at this point. If you count the ones that haven't been released yet, they're all part of this Mandoverse. So you had the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew. I feel like I'm missing one. Am I?
Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett. Okay, so there's like five shows that are going on pretty simultaneously. At the same time, and there's going to be like an Endgame type, like all these series getting together and do a movie, which is coming out between 25 and 26. So
yeah, oh yeah, and we're going to get into that. I mean, that'll probably be something that we'll discuss if anything.
End,
probably,
third episode, yeah.
We'll probably carve out a good chunk of time, if anything, just to talk about that and for all that.
Yeah.
Right, because I think it needs to be talked about.
Absolutely.
And I think that now, Jasmine. What do you know about Dave Filoni? Are you aware of his contributions?
I mean, Leach said most of the stuff regarding the Clone Wars and the Rebels. I do believe that this upcoming movie, the Endgame movie that Leach talked about, is like going to be Filoni's first ever movie that he directs.
Oh, he's going to direct it.
Is that true, Leach?
I believe he is, yeah, and he's directing and I believe writing the entire thing also.
I mean, it's a massive jump for his skill set.
I get him writing it, you know what I'm saying? And I just so I understand, wasn't it also being put out there that there might be a trilogy?
It's possible. I'll tell you why. Because the movie is going to be based on Heir to the Empire, which is a book that was written by Timothy Zahn. It introduced Grand Admiral Thrawn to
the legends,
to
right?
Star Wars, yeah. And it's a story that everybody wants to be a part of canon. And right now it's part of the Legends books, which means it doesn't mean anything to the Disney Star Wars. So I think they're going to take certain liberties and basically use the characters that exist in the Mandoverse to create the same story, just different characters, because it was very Luke, Han, and Leia heavy, you know. And there was a cloned Jedi that was in the Heir to the Empire. And what's the gentleman who just passed, who showed up in the Ahsoka trailer? He had the orange lightsaber. But anyway, I'm starting to believe that is the cloned Jedi that was referred to in the books. So now, Heir to the Empire was the beginning of the trilogy. There was a trilogy of books. So I'm assuming if Heir to the Empire really takes off, then yes, they would finish the trilogy. I think it's like Dark Force Rising and The Last Command are the next 2 books. It introduced Mara Jade, who is Luke Skywalker's wife. But when you meet her in Heir to the Empire, she's working for the Emperor, and her job, like her assignment, was to kill Luke Skywalker, and so that was a big part of the plot. You know, is that there's this cloned Emperor, and that he's got somebody in charge to kill Luke Skywalker, so he doesn't have to get his hands dirty.
Okay, now let me ask you now, when it comes to Jasm, your thoughts. Now, just thinking, in comparison to the fact that I'm just catching up, and Leach has been very helpful to me. A lot of different people have been very helpful to me as to explaining the lore before I started deep diving it myself. Which I'll put out there, folks, just to give you a little bit of guidance out there, all you future creators. When you do one of these 3-part, breakdowns or whatever, or kind of season breakdowns of one of these TV series, especially these fandom ones that are this in depthful, and this layered, and this deep as far as characters, lore, the time differences and whatnot, right? It's a lot to take in. Whether you know it or don't, it's still a lot to figure out what you can put in and what you cannot put out to make these work. I picked 3 parts for this. We easily could have done 7 shows probably.
Yeah.
Right. And talked about this shit. If we really wanted to add all the lore in, right? You get what I'm saying, Jasmine, Leach, you know?
Yeah.
If we really wanted to tie every knot with the lore and where we see this flushing out overall, but that will be another thing. We'll do that in another series, right? When we get a little bit farther down the road, maybe after Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about doing something where we really think about like a full on, instead of an MCU like preview, like a full on Star Wars preview where we do like a 5-part series, right?
Yeah.
And just really break down like where we see things going, how it's going to play out. Now that's really good information, Leach. Now let me ask you, Jasmine. Heading into Mandalorian season 3, what were your thoughts on the Mandalorian?
I mean, so far it's really great. It's like as each season came by, the quality just constantly improved. Without Book of Boba Fett, I guess when you look at the Mandalorian season 3 trailer, you'd be like, why is Grogu there? But if you watch the Book of Boba Fett,
why you gotta be bad mouthing my boy Grogu, man?
I'm not bad mouthing. I'm just saying, if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, that's a nice T-shirt.
Thank you.
But if you did not see Book of Boba Fett,
I wasn't proud when I bought it, brother. I wasn't like, it was my favorite shit.
I mean, hey, it's a great design.
No, the design's good, but I'm not a big fan of Grogu either, man, as Leach will tell you. No, finish. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know. Dude, Jeff, you like distracted me so much that I just like lost my train.
You gotta get your game back, man. How many shows have you fucking done with me?
Too many to count.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's been so long, bro. You're rusty.
I know. But anyways, if you haven't seen the Book of Boba Fett, you would be very confused on this Mandalorian season 3. Like, is this in the middle of season 1 and 2? Like, people have these weird thoughts.
No, I get what you're saying because of episode 3.
Yeah.
Right? Is that basically it?
Yeah.
Because the Dr. Was it Pershing? Which we're going to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? How they kind of threw that in there in episode 3, and that's what really fucked people up a lot, I think?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the trailer, Jeff.
Oh, the trailer. Okay.
Like,
you were like...
If you saw the trailer without seeing the Book of Boba Fett, you wouldn't understand why season 3 was made. You wouldn't understand where it fits in the lore, whether it's like between season 1 and 2 or who knows.
Well, that's actually a good way to start things off. Why don't you guys, Leach, if you want to back Jasmine up on this, can you just explain really quick to start things off, Mr. Wrath of Khan, what you're talking about, that time into season that we covered Boba Fett, right? So I know about all this stuff because we at that point we were reviewing full on Star Wars. I just didn't know Andor was going to come out and fucking like straight up turn my head around like the poltergeist and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, fucking dying and shit, watching it and then reviewing it and moderating and be like in awe while I'm moderating, like just moderating, like blown away by the shit I was watching. Either way, just lay out the premise of how they sort of ended Mandalorian season 2 and tied it into Boba Fett, right? And I think that was, if I'm correct, that was one of the first real MCU type connections or ties that they really made a big jump like that.
Yeah.
To sort of establish that they were going to interconnect this stuff, right? You know what I mean? And so you tell me, Jasmine, what you're mentioning here with the trailer, which I'm going to play here in a minute. Can you just explain what you mean with that?
Yeah. So at the end of Mandalorian season 2, we saw that the season ended with Grogu going back to Luke Skywalker, and the overall mission of getting Grogu back to the Jedi, which was the main premise of both season 1 and 2, that stuff is complete. And, we expect that this series would be over or Mando just finds a new purpose. Now, with Mandalorian season 3, with Grogu back with the Mandalorians, like, okay, so all of this storytelling that you put for the first 2 seasons just went in the trash because Grogu was supposed to be with the Jedi, and now he's back with you.
Yeah,
Luke, you want to add?
Yeah, and if Like they said, oh, you didn't have to see Book of Boba Fett to know what's going on, but you really did. I mean, the in Mandalorian season 2, Din Djarin's spacecraft got blown up, and he was left with nothing. Grogu went with Luke Skywalker. He's training to be a Jedi. So if you didn't have those 2 Mandalorian episodes during Book of Boba Fett, which there were the 2 greatest episodes of Book of Boba Fett were basically because of the Mandalorian, and it showed that he went and got a new ship, and it was the Naboo Starfighter.
Yep.
Which instead of yellow, he had it painted in silver, or maybe even coated in Beskar. I'm not sure, but and then he's obviously he loves his son, and he misses him, and he goes to visit him, and Luke Skywalker makes Grogu choose whether you're either going to stay here with me,
yep,
or you're going to go with him, and there is no in between. And so Grogu left with Din Djarin, and then came season 3, and people were like, "What did I miss?" Like,
he doesn't dissuade him in either direction. Correct. Or anything like that, right? He doesn't say that anything negative in connotation in saying go with the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah. But what I thought was funny, and this is probably the geek in me, is that Luke Skywalker made him choose like an absolute choice, and they say that only the Sith deal in absolution. You know what I mean? Which so it was really weird to see Luke be like, you can't have it both ways. You're either a Jedi or you're a normal alien, whatever. But so you definitely. They said you didn't need to see Book of Boba Fett, but you really did, But
there you go. No, most definitely. And now, Jassim, in terms of where things correlate into the trailer, as you explained, what was it about the trailer that kind of like, I guess, you wanted to point out that you had to watch Boba Fett, right? And what was it about the trailer yourself that you said it felt kind of out of time?
Because the main thing, you just see Grogu with Mando. It's just, he's not supposed to be with Mando after season 2. That's just it.
I see what you're saying. So if you're following just the Mandalorian series, you're not going to know what the hell's even going on in the trailer.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, in terms of where we start off with season 3, right, with episode 1, okay, which, if I remember correctly, is called, and I have all this, of course, written down, but let me look it up real quick. I believe the first episode is that, I think these titles are very important because I think that I like the writing, right? I like the overall production of these Mandalorian series, and I feel like the titles are very, very indicative and very important, at least in this series. I find them important because they tie very heavily into what I believe is this interconnectivity that they're looking to push between these different series. I think if anything, Justin, if you understand what I'm saying, I think that like they're sort of, they title the episodes in a direction where they're kind of trying to set up this MC, I don't know other way to put it, but this MCU kind of like connectivity or interconnectivity between the different series.
Yeah.
Which, I don't see how that's a bad move, right? Personally. But let me just ask you guys really, because I find this up. Jassim, how do you feel about the fact that they are trying to go in this interconnected dimension, or this interconnected space?
Honestly, it's hard to wrap my mind around it. It's like something that I don't think I've ever seen.
Let me preface this. Leech and those out in the audience, Jassim is not an MCU fan.
Oh, okay.
I never really got into MCU.
No, I feel you. DC fan or just not comic book related?
Just not comic books.
Okay. No, I got you.
Yeah.
No, but go ahead, Jassim. Yeah, tell me what your thoughts were, because I think this is very important. Because again, Jassim, you're how old? What, 22?
Yeah.
Leech, you're like what, 74?
Getting there, yeah.
Right? And I'm 40, right? So we've got this really good contrast in ages. So at that point, I really just want to draw off this and then see what Jason's reactions were to the trailer.
Hey, you know what's cool? Before just interject real quick. So the original trilogy was my Star Wars.
Yes.
Jeff, your Star Wars was probably episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm. No, it was it was the intro.
Original?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Cause remember where I grew up, man? I grew up in upstate New York with my parents as a kid, where basically, when they watched movies, I watched them.
Okay.
Right? I sat with them when they watched movies. I sat and watched them. It didn't matter whether it was Basic Instinct, Commando.
Wait, you watched Basic Instinct with your
Fuck
family?
yeah, baby! I didn't watch it with my family. Nah, bro, I didn't watch it with my family. My dad gave me full access to his VHS cassette tape collection.
Okay, cool.
So I didn't know what the hell what was what. He never told me I could watch anything. At that point, if a title looked interesting, there was no internet. I just grabbed it. If I thought it looked cool, I was like, "Oh, if Dad likes this shit, I'll probably like it."
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought we were dealing with 3 different generations of Star Wars fans.
No, we are to some extent.
No, I guess we are. Yeah.
No. I mean, they lost me with the next trilogy after that. Man, I just was like, "You fucking kidding me?" Like, all I had to see was Jar Jar Binks for like 5 seconds, and I was like, "Yo, Jar Jar, fuck you." I'm out, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, that was all I needed, bro. I'm sorry, but like, I'm like that, man. If you start throwing shit at me like that from jump, I can't follow the rest of it. I can't. I'm gonna go back and revisit it now. I have to. It's important, right? I watched it years and years ago. It's good. I think we all would agree to go back and reflect and rewatch these things. Yeah. Right now, you've watched. Jess, you've watched the original trilogy.
Oh yes.
Okay, so you do now that, and there you go, Leach. I hope I would hope that it's good to see, right? That at least a more younger generation than ours, they do care enough and they do pay homage enough to want to see the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, what they think of it and whatnot. Oh, look what this food just fucking popped up. Is it Hammer Time?
Is it Hammer Time? No way.
No, it's Nathan Great, baby.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Nathan Great in blackface. What's up, bruh?
I don't love that. Sorry.
That's okay. You're doing some like real slow motion dancing shit going on there for a minute. That's okay though. You can rock it. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of contradicts your "Oh Snap" T-shirt because it's like "Oh Snap" what?
Yeah, show the whole thing, man.
Oh, nice haircut, too, by the way.
Oh, it's gingy, nice.
I see. I got it. Nate, you're trying to copy some of my shirts, like the ones that say like this penis won't suck itself and shit like that. But like your own lighter version, like your own like biblical, like more like church like version. Or the ones that say your hole is my goal.
My favorite is I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
I've got that one coming. I got that in the mail. Yep.
It's so great.
Yeah, and you know what too? It's not merch yet, but I made the first custom T-shirt for us to start as a template, and I'll introduce you in 1 second, Nate. But it is, don't be ninja, nobody. Don't need be no ninja.
Okay.
They're going to take off.
Some of them going to bomb.
Just like they've bombed in the comics.
What about this guy? You think this guy can make it for the Avengers?
Diamond Days, a ninja teaching flicks. Honey, let me see the sign there. Come on in here, ninja. Here's my ninja. Diamond Days Ninja School. Come on down. What we're going to teach you, hold up, Lord. And what we're going to teach you in our first episode is a proper stance and a proper kung fu. And you got your Judy chop, all right? You got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop. Now, what smart thing to do is like when you use a judo chopping, you gotta say it, for you beginners, like a Judy chop. Because what you don't want to do is like be a Judy chopping and a kung fu kicking, and there goes your leg. There ain't much hauling for a one-legged ninja out there. Right there, hard as a rock, buddy. Let me show you something. I'll have last time, baby. Don't put it in front of your face. I don't want to hurt you. You got me? Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to work on the ninja chops. What we're going to do. You go a ninja chop. Well, now see, now sometimes it don't always work for a ninja. But it practice makes it perfect. Don't go ninja nobody. Don't need ninja. Alrighty? Now, them things there, if I was put
Here you go, folks. Don't be
Yeah.
ninja. Nobody don't need be ninja. All right? The shirt's coming.
He's the one who's going to save us all, man. I love
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I tried to fit in underneath the text. It wouldn't fit in the shirt. In quotations. The ninja crackhead from the trailer park or something like that, right?
Right.
Anyways,
Sounds like Meg from Legends of Tomorrow.
well, no, it's funny because afterwards of the conversation, the banter is hilarious and seeing my guests and whatnot, their different facial expressions and whatnot, because some of them have seen that before and some of them haven't. Whatever. Nathan, great. Nate, meet Jason Leach from the DJB Productions Network.
Hey, brother. Nice to meet you, my friend.
Hello.
And Nate, you finally get to meet Jassim, man.
Nice to meet you, Nate.
Hello. Nice to meet you
Jassim,
too.
I've been telling you about Nate for years, man, haven't I?
Yeah.
And vice versa. Nate, how long have I been telling you about Jassim?
Yeah, it's been pretty well.
There you go, folks. I've been making content since I first started. I did my first podcast, basically. Well, back in the day. I've been knowing Nate. Nate, thanks for joining us, brother.
Nice to be on.
Well, anyway, so where we were at, basically, I believe, if I remember correctly, guys, if you could help me out here, was sort of, I guess, the interconnectivity, right? And what Jassim's thoughts were on the interconnectivity that they're throwing in now with these series and where the direction could head. Just in general, not getting too expansive, Jassim. If you want to wrap up what your thoughts were, how do you feel about it coming from your perspective?
Wait, can you repeat that question again?
The interconnectivity that they've started to display, right? For instance, with the Boba Fett season, right? One, you know what I'm saying? Where they did then bring in Mando, right? They did bring in Grogu, right? They tied in Obi-Wan. Luke Skywalker in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
This interconnectivity where they're connecting in the same real time, time period, the different characters, the different series. It's sort of an a la MCU connection, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about it? Do you like it?
I mean, with the way they've done it with the Mandalorian series, I don't really like it. Some people might like it. I do see their perspectives and I agree with those perspectives, but I didn't like how they interconnected those different.
What if they drop Bo-Katan up in the Ahsoka?
Actually, with Bo-Katan and
will
Ahsoka,
that-
it makes
will
more
that-
sense.
Will that do something for you? Would that change your mind a little bit?
I mean, I've seen the interconnectivity with like Clone Wars, with Rebels. So, I mean, in those senses, it makes perfectly sense. You're not deviating from the main goal. But with The Mandalorian, the way they play with interconnectivity, it just ruins the main goal that we've been following for the first 2 seasons.
Sure. And you know
Yeah.
what? And before I go to you, Nate, Leach, do you think that maybe that's just part of the growing steps of this process? If you want to do something like this and head in this direction, that maybe you're not going to pull it off perfectly
Yeah.
at first?
Absolutely. Yeah. I am a fan of this multi-series telling the same story type thing, because once this whole thing gets rolling, I think we're basically going to have Mandoverse like 12 months a year, which I would friggin' love. You know what I mean? Until it comes to that I don't know that the end game type movie is going to be the be all end all of it, but I'm really excited to where it's heading, and I think I'm just going to have a nerdgasm in the theater when that movie does come out. Yeah.
So you just basically love this interconnectivity, and now you're an MCU fan. So does that connectivity, how the MCU's done it, not talking about phase 4, but how they've done it in the first 3 phases, does that make you feel more positive about them going in that direction?
Yes, because I'll tell you why. When people were talking about how when The Last Jedi failed, and then Rise of Skywalker was a friggin' mess trying to fix The Last Jedi and all that stuff, that they're like, oh, they just rushed everything. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, no, they're not rushing everything. I said, look at Marvel. Marvel's been doing 5 movies or events per year for 10 years. They're killing it, and they just get better and better. And so, why isn't Star Wars doing it? It's because they had shitty writing. Just they would hire directors who would also go write the story. When does that ever happen? So I think that They just needed to bring that MCU what's the word, recipe to Star Wars, and I think it's starting to click now, and things are working. I even think that this movie with that's coming out with Rey, which they're saying is episode 10, but whatever. But I think that it's going to be done right this time. You know what I mean? You can say what you want to about the sequel trilogy. I actually thought Force Awakens was a solid movie and a good stepping stone for the trilogy. They just lost their way in a big way.
See, and Leach, you know what? This stuff's just so messy. It's like the MCU right now. Danny came to me. Danny from DGB Productions and whatnot. DJ, good friend of the program. He came on and whatnot and everything, and he said to me, Jeff, do a deep dive on what you fucking actually think is going to happen in the MCU now with everything that's gone down, right? What are we going to have and not have?
Yeah.
In reality, by the time we get into phase 6, phase 7, what's going to survive? What's going to die? Right. And I'm like, Danny, man, you're going to have to give me a minute on that, bro. Like,
right.
That's not some simple thing to just put together. Right. I've got to put some real research in and whatnot and really think about it.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of like that. Nate, isn't it? I mean, Nate, you stay on top of this shit basically daily, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. And that's the thing, Leach, he does. Nate's on top of this shit every day.
Gotcha.
Nate covers sports. Nate covers everything basically.
Oh, very cool.
Right. Yep. He even covers some of my massage parlor, sessions. He writes them and and sort of draws them up like the cart room person or whatever, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he's the illustrator. But no, Nate, you tell me, Nate, being an MCU fan yourself, do you see the interconnectivity in this Star Wars verse, in this Mando verse, as a positive thing from jump?
Yes. Well, I think I'm going to actually add on to what Leach was saying about this. It's a slow process trying to build better, be better than what their previous product was. I'm looking back at some of the earlier MCU shows. I don't think those ones were. I'm trying to find the right word. They've as great, but then they started making some changes. What's the dude's name? War Machine. The actor who played War Machine. They ended up changing who that was.
Yeah.
The Hulk. The very first the Hulk movie wasn't. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't fantastic.
You talking about the Jet Li one, or are you talking about the Edward?
No, he's talking about the Edward Norton one.
Okay.
Edward Norton one.
That's actually a pretty good film.
I
Nate.
was a fan. I didn't like the first one.
Yeah, a lot of people like that one. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's interesting if you think about it. It's interesting. I've always thought, just as an aside, it's interesting what Norton would have been like in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
How he would have intermixed with the other core 6 or whatever, whatnot.
Right.
But I digress. I just think it would have been fun to see how that would have played out. How his his rapport would have been like, his connection, his chemistry with those other actors compared to Ruffalo.
I will say one thing though, and even though it's not a slight, it still kind of is one. I feel like Star Wars, in a way, is doing a better job when they are producing their shows. And I still like Marvel shows, MCU shows, but I feel like Star Wars is slightly doing a better job. I think it's because I think it's more because they started their TV shows before the MCU did. The first season of Mandalorian came out before WandaVision came out. So I do think that they are doing better at their TV shows than what I see from the MCU.
They're killing it compared to. Are you killing me? They're killing it. Right, Leach? There's no comparison.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, and believe me, Nate, I'm sure you know that Marvel Studios and Disney are very aware of that.
Yeah.
But then again, they own both the properties, right? So, or they're distributing both the properties, right? Aren't they at that point?
Yeah.
So, they're basically, it's their own shit competing against each other, if anything. But now, I pulled this up real quick and whatnot, just to kind of wrap this up and just to kind of put a tie on this so we can move on. But essentially, if we look here, stupid pop-ups, I'm telling you. Nate, why do you got to insert these pop-ups on these fucking websites, man? These ads.
I don't know. Talk to my boss at comicbook.com.
I was gonna say.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so here's what we got here. Let's see. Logan director James Mangold has been rumored to be involved with Lucasfilm for years. He did it reports emerged on the release of the Star Wars story that he was developing a Boba Fett film. Talks fizzled. And let's see. Mangold is developing a film that is said to take place at a time in which the first Jedi emerge. The film doesn't yet have a release date, and when Mangold connected to various other projects, it would likely be quite a wait before that project is realized. Whatever. That's whatever. That does sound interesting, though. Confirmed. The Dave Filoni film. Okay, here we go. Likely one of the least surprising announcements that would be helming a new movie for the galaxy far, far away was that Dave Filoni would direct a project that took place during the New Republic and would serve as a way to tie together the events of The Mandalorian, Star Wars Ahsoka, and Star Wars Book of Boba Fett. Lucasfilm had previously teased that such an event was in the works, while many had assumed such an event would be a limited series. We can't rule out this project being a Disney Plus exclusive film, but the assumption will be that this project is aiming to be a theatrical release. Between the other various Disney series and Filoni's work on them, and it's unclear whether this project will be moving forward. Moving down. Confirmed. Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy film. I do not like the fact that she's directing these films. If you know who she is, you know why. Ahead of Star Wars Celebration, this project would have been deferred to as Damon Lindelof's project, despite Obaid Chinoy being listed as a director. The Lindelof ended up parting ways from the project, which is not a good sign, I don't think. Lucasfilm seems to have a lot of excitement for this movie. I don't know why. And the studio brought Daisy Ridley out on the stage to reveal that the adventure would take place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. 15 years from the rise of Skywalker, where would that put us?
Gosh, 45 years after A New Hope?
Okay.
Give or take.
So, in on the timeline, for instance, of The Mandalorian, where would that be at?
Okay, for The Mandalorian, 20 years out, maybe? No, 40 years out.
Okay. So it is somewhat connected, though. At that point, it would be somewhat okay.
I think some of the results are, you're gonna feel some of the the things that happened in the other shows and movies, but I don't think they're going to be specifically related. Like I don't think Daisy Ridley's movie is going to have anything to do with the Mandoverse.
No, this is going to be a trilogy, which is what I keep hearing it's going to be.
Yeah.
To me, I just don't see why they wouldn't do the Gilroy stuff as a trilogy. I don't know why they wouldn't do the Mandoverse stuff as a trilogy instead of the standalone film, but that's just me.
Yeah, and it may end up being that way. Like I was saying, if it's truly based off of the Heir of the Empire storyline, that went 3 books, and I would assume they would go 3 movies with that.
Now this is the last one, the Rian Johnson trilogy. Does anybody here know what this is about?
They did not indulge any timeline, anything about it. The only thing they said was that it will cover an area that has never been never been touched before. It would be in a timeline that we're not familiar with. So I kind of assumed if you remember the end of the Last Jedi, one of the very last scenes was the boy, the slave kid, and he was they call him Broom Boy because he was cleaning up the stables, and he just reached out and the broom came to him, and he started sweeping up. So it was obvious that he was he had Jedi tendencies. So I kind of thought that his trilogy was going to be almost like a Hogwarts, Harry Potter meets Star Wars, and the Broom Boy was going to be one of the characters in it.
Now let me ask you a question. What was Taika? This is Taika Waititi. They better not let him make a film in Star Wars. I'm sorry, but Love and Thunder was fucking garbage.
It was ass. Yeah,
yes,
ass.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So
and I used to I liked him as a Drive Me Jojo.
what work did he do in The Mandalorian?
He did. Okay, so he was IG-11 during
Okay.
the season 1. And I want to say he directed one of the episodes, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay, maybe wrote one. Sure. Nate, do you have anything on that?
It looked like Nate dropped for a bit.
Oh, did Nate drop? Oh, there he is. Sorry, Nate. I was looking at other stuff, man.
Sorry.
My bad, dude.
Were you waiting in the waiting room that whole time? How disrespectful. Jeez.
Nate, I'm sorry, bro. I can't see the screen when I'm on that article. I was reading the article. I couldn't see you, brother. I didn't mean to do that. Nate.
So
have you heard anything about or what do you think about Waititi? What do you know anything about what his role was specifically with Mandalorian?
With Mandalorian, no. But I kind of have to agree with everybody. Thor: Love and Thunder was
styling piece of styling pile of dog shit. Yeah, horrible.
It was terrible.
I don't know how MCU fans can even defend it.
Right.
I really don't. It was that bad. If you're ever going to watch the MCU film to start off with,
Ragnarok was funny.
Don't do Love and Thunder.
Yeah, right. Now, see, that's the thing. Like Ragnarok was one of my favorite ones.
It was,
and that was Taika Waititi also. So I had like such high hopes for Love and Thunder, and it was just, oh my god!
I just feel like there were so many things that were just taken out.
Yeah.
What up, Cybernetic Shark? What up, brah? Did we already lose you? Since I was like, I let Nate hanging out in the dungeon, but not for like eons and shit and whatnot. While I was over here playing around with my phone or whatever, I guess I'm all unprofessional. Did I just leave you hanging in the comment section or what? That is, of course, my co-host, and also my son. Apparently, according to the crackhead hotel owner over at Daytona Beach when we went to Rockville, I'm his father somehow, even though Cyber's older than me. Which I explained to the guy. I was like, is this some kind of magic? Or like, what's going on here? Hey, why isn't Cyber the host of this show? All Mac PM, you tell Cyber. Obviously, Cyber's quite more professional than I am. So, why anybody would want me doing this, I have no idea. Right? Who knows? You have to ask him. No, I'm here. You know why? Because I want to fucking be here, baby. What's up? I love me some Star Wars. I got some great guests on. I want to have some fun. Cyber needs a break. It's Sunday. It's his day off probably, or he's working. Cyber's a busy man. Anyways, Nathan Great. That's right. Cyber. Pumped to see Nate back on the panel. We haven't seen you in decades.
Yeah, I've been really busy too. I normally work in the evenings, but I take Sunday. However, even on Sundays, I kind of have to be a little late.
Justin, have you ever met Cyber before?
What I have before. I think
on Rizzle.
Oh, I only met him on the stream.
Yeah, you've never been on the show with him moderating, have you, or around the panel?
He has moderated a show that I've been on.
Oh, okay. You know what? So many guests come on, so many different creators. I forget. It's a mix. Yeah. But so basically, all right. So again, I'm going to play the trailer for The Mandalorian right now, guys. So if you haven't seen it, or if you already seen it a bunch of times, don't worry about it. If you want to grab a drink, go to the bathroom, go ahead. I'm going to play it to set up a premise, basically, right, leading into season 3, just to kind of head into the first episode, and sort of just get your reactions. As Jason kind of said that he didn't really, maybe get the trailer or feel like it serviced the fans well, possibly, in terms of being more direct with what we were going to get from the season. If you didn't watch Boba Fett, we'll see what Nate thinks. We'll see what Leach thinks.
Cool.
Wrong one.
Our people are scattered like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for? Being a Mandalorian is not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost. going to Mandalore, so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid. This is the way.
And there you go. Now, start with you, Nate. Then you, Jason. Nate, did you feel like that trailer, which is very short, that it serviced the season well?
Yes, because it did give the overall mission of him trying to repent. Basically, religious words here, but him trying to get forgiveness for taking off his helmet. But although I do think the second half of I do feel like the latter portion of that season, I don't think it went towards that, even though I thought most of it did. Because with all the whole fight scenes towards the end of the season and trying to take back Mando, trying to take that back to their home planet. I feel like it served most of the season until it came towards the very end.
Okay. No, you don't even see Bo-Katan in there, do you?
No, not in that trailer.
No, isn't that crazy? And she played such a pivotal role. I mean, she basically was like essentially the co-star of the series.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Leach, what'd you think of the trailer?
I liked it a lot. I think it focused on like the first 3 episodes, except for I think that one where the Mandos were falling out of the ship and they all turned on their backpacks, which was so badass.
I so badly wanted to use that for the thumbnail.
Yeah. But and I'm glad we're talking about the first 3 episodes, because by looking at that trailer, to me, as a Star Wars fan, I thought the entire season was going to be what happened in the first 3 episodes. Just like that he was redeemed. He's starting to rebuild Mandalore, and all that stuff happened in the first 3 episodes. And I'm like, holy shit, like what's to come, and then it just kind of I don't know, kind of fell flat after that a little bit. The one episode where they were dealing with the cloning doctor, it was like, okay, but I mean, they could have done that in 10 minutes though. The whole episode, I'm still upset about the Lizzo Jack Black episode, because it really lent nothing to the story. And same with Christopher Lloyd. His character was useless. It was nothing. It was just a name, and it was just a name to throw in there and say, hey, Christopher Lloyd's going to be on this episode. So there was a lot of trash towards the end. So I would have rather had those first 3 episodes stretched out throughout the entire season and really getting into it more. Like each one of those episodes, indulging a little bit more. But at the end, I was fairly satisfied. But we'll save that for when we talk about the later episodes. But it was just that middle section after episode 3 that was just, I don't know. I thought it lost its way a little bit, but the first 3 episodes were so cool.
No, they were. And, to just dispose, I guess, and just to make things interesting, because although this isn't something that I think is going to heavily connect at all, really, maybe from a Star Wars lore standpoint, but not from this. It's not from the same, real time space. But the Andor trailer, right, is one that I believe is absolutely exceptional. And just to contrast, Jasmine, have you seen the Andor trailer before?
Mm-hmm.
You have. You probably watched it with me, right?
Yeah, even on my own. Yeah, I've seen it many times.
You have. Now, I simply want to present this really quick and whatnot. And the only reason I'm presenting this is just one little offset, and I'm going to make it very quick. I just want you guys' thoughts on this, because in comparison to that trailer, I just want you guys to point out the differences that you kind of notice and you feel, because I feel like there's a lot there in terms of doing a better job of kind of giving us a full depiction of what we're getting from the storyline throughout, maybe Andor. And again, I'm personally biased. I love Andor. That's right, I do.
Yeah, it was a solid show.
Rogue One is a great movie. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying, Arrow Season 1, I feel like did a better job. For the CW fans out there, Arrow Season 1 did a better job at describing talking about what the whole season's going to be about. Did better job at that than this trailer did.
Okay, that's fair. I've got no problem with that. I never saw that one, so I'm not going to opine. But I think this is epic. I mean, you want to talk about the Andor trailers are so good that you basically, if you ever need thumbnail images, all you need is those trailers and do some screenshots and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Right? If you haven't seen Andor yet, folks, I don't care if we're talking about The Mandalorian. Watch Andor. Okay? Seriously. Between that and The Mandalorian,
to steal from the Empire? To just walk in like you belong? They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house. Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting. You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief?
You're slipping.
I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what revolution looks like.
I'm tired of losing.
Now, I am sorry, but the fuck happened to me here? Oh, what?
I don't know, but that's got me wanting to just watch the entire season again.
There we go. Hey, there we go. Anyways, I can do all kinds. Look at this shit. I can do all kinds of interesting shit now. StreamYard's got look at that. Bam. Now we're all tiny. See if we want. They changed StreamYard up. Nate, did you notice at all? Like
Yes,
you actually
yes,
can,
I did.
You can extend that. You can
I
change
noticed that when I
the
was doing some of my
templates.
sports shows.
They finally made it to where we can do reaction videos on here. Now I got this new MacBook Pro and I can't even figure out how to do them because they can't figure out the audio part. Either way, no. So maybe I should rephrase that. The Andor trailer is the Andor series is a totally different series. It's a number one series, a first part series, right? Totally different tone, totally different storyline, totally different totally different setting. It's not a really good comparison necessarily, but I'm sorry, but the music in that is just fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah.
Leach, what do you think of that Andor trailer, just in comparison to the Mandalorian trailer?
That's got like I said at the beginning when we came back from it, that's got me wanting to watch the whole series again. You know, it was solid. And the thing I really like about Andor is that it was amazing storytelling, even if it wasn't in the Star Wars universe. And the fact that, you know, like especially in the trailer when the people looked up and there's a Star Destroyer flying above them, and they really show like how evil the Empire is.
Yes.
During that season, and like you always assumed, but like they were just friggin' brutal. Like the whole prison thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like you're never leaving. Like, you know, you might have gotten sentenced to 2 years. You're never leaving that spot, you know, and all you're gonna be doing is turning into that old man who died while he was doing his job, you know. But yeah, just the fact that it didn't have to happen in the Star Wars universe in order to be a good story, and that's what I love the most about it.
There you go. No, and Real Wrath of Khan, you've not watched Andor still yet, have you?
I actually have seen Andor, dude.
You watched Andor?
I've never seen Willow.
Oh, well, you don't want to watch it, bro. You don't understand the joke, believe me. Anybody who's seen Willow, though, you understand the joke.
I heard it's terrible.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. You probably loved it.
Yes, I did. It took me a while. I now I'm gonna have to watch this again.
Well, Willow or Andor?
Andor.
I'm talking about Willow. I said you probably love Willow, right?
Oh yes. I think I have seen it. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one too.
No, don't go back and watch that one. But you loved Andor? You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I did.
Great, that's awesome. And Jasmine, I must ask you this before. Did you really enjoy Andor? Did you like it?
The name
I
sounds
really
familiar,
liked it.
though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
I just said the name sounds familiar, though. So I'm actually just pulling it up right now.
Oh yeah, no, Willow. Believe me, you don't want to watch it, bro. Without Val Kilmer, it was not worth watching. Terrible. They think they deleted it off Disney Plus already. They removed it completely. It's not even there. But now, really quick, just personally, I can't remember, Jasmine. Did you really enjoy Andor?
Yeah, I even did a stream with you about
No,
it.
fuck, you did one with me. You know, I'm sorry, man. That must have been one of my insomnia smoking crack moments.
I was gonna say, put that pen down, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So no,
I do remember some of your jokes from our streams.
That's right. Yes. Okay. Oh, you did one of the Andor episode reviews too, didn't you?
Yeah, only a few of them.
Well, hey,
Cyber was the host. Olmec would send a lot of comments.
Oh, that's right. Hammer was there too. Yeah, Hammer's Gunner. Leach decided to make Gunner Hammer now.
I've renamed him.
Leach renamed fucking Gunner to Hammer now. Just so you know. So whenever you see Gunner now, call him Hammer because he actually prefers to be called Hammer. And he plays his MC Hammer music and everything and whatnot when he comes on. It's hilarious.
It's a beautiful thing.
No, it is. So now, basically, and I'm sorry, folks. I just want to put it out there. Shameless plug here for Andor. If you want to, if you're an old Star Wars fan that after the first trilogy you just fell off, I swear to God, if you watch Rogue One and you watch Andor, you'll want to return back. If you watch The Mandalorian, whatever people said about season 3, I loved it. Right, and we'll get into what Leach thought about the whole season, what Wrath of Khan thought, what Neith the Great thought. and we'll ask everybody on the panels across all three parts of this recap and breakdown. But the episode 1 of The Mandalorian, our first episode, right after we come off of the end of season 2 and the connectivity into the Boba Fett series, right? We end up basically at a point where with episode 1, essentially, I believe the first episode is called The Apostle. Okay.
The Apostate.
The Apostate. Okay, so The Apostate. And now, great titles. I really like them. I'm assuming that probably Favreau would have came up with them, possibly. But The Apostate, episode 2, of course, is The Mines of Mandalore. Now, I think that's probably, me personally, that may be the best episode in the series, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that was up there for sure.
I don't know, whatever that director is that makes those really crazy horror movies that are all visually fucking intense and like weird. I'll find his name. It reminded me of that. It was the first time I ever saw a Star Wars being played out as horror. Right?
Right.
It was something else. The Mines of Mandalore was something else. And then of course there is the very divisive episode 3, The Convert, right? Which, as Leach already described, should have been done in 20 minutes. That's why we're only going to cover it for like 5 minutes.
Right.
It's really not that important, I don't think, really, overall. I don't.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing something, you guys can tell me. But episode 1, The Apostate, right, essentially starts off with a ceremony, right, where they really, I think for the first time in this season, you guys can tell me if you agree, and I'll start with you, Nate. For the first time in this season, they really went full on with the full on Mandalorian lore and everything and whatnot. They went deep dive on the Mandalorian race, the Mandalorian Civil Wars, Mandalore itself as a planet, right? What is it called? The Day of Tears. The glassing essentially of the planet by Moff Gideon, right? Which I forget. They have so many different titles for that. Where they basically like eradicate. They don't eradicate, but they basically make the planet unlivable. You guys can tell me what titles have you heard that called? The bombing of Mandalore, when the Empire decided to punish them.
To answer your first question, yes, I do think they've gone into breaking down a lot into this whole Mandalorian background, especially since I think the only other time in like the whole Star Wars universe where they've actually mentioned more than one Mandalorian tribe.
Yes.
I think briefly Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7. When Ahsoka was there and all that. But outside of that, I don't think there's ever been a time where they've mentioned more than one Mandalorian tribe.
You're right. No, now, and you tell me, Jasmine Leach. I think he's right. They didn't. I don't remember the second. Maybe other than a little reference here and there, I don't remember any heavy references to the actual lore of the Mandalorian.
Right. Yep. I mean, there was.
The only time I would actually.
Nate, it's okay. Listen, you have an audio delay.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7.
No, Nate, you're okay. You have an audio delay. That's all it is. Every time you're hearing us talk, it's probably like, I don't know, what do you guys think? 2.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds after. You may want to drop back in and drop back out. Are you using Google Chrome?
I use Google Chrome, so go ahead and drop in and drop out.
Drop in and drop back out. But no, so Leach, and then you, Jasmine, I don't remember there being quite a lot of heavy references to the actual past.
I think the first taste we got of it was when the Mandalorian first ran into Bo-Katan in Was that season 1 or was that season
Season 2.
Season 2. And he said, you can't be Mandalorian because you're without your helmet.
Yep.
And she said, oh, you must be a child of the Watch. So that was the first taste of that. There's different sects and different tribes of the Mandalorian culture that, they interpret things a little bit different. And I think that Mando or Din Djarin is a strict, like almost like different religions have, different. They're more laid back about certain things and not. But I think he is a strict Mandalorian.
Yes, he follows the same. He follows the same. He follows the
creed,
the armors, the creed. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And whatever that group is called and whatnot and everything. Nate, when I talk, respond. Nate.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. See, all right. It's more like 4 seconds actually. So just take it into consideration. It's fine. You're good. Just take it into consideration, right? That you're hearing everything that we say like 3 or 4 seconds later. You've been at the spot before, bro. You know how to make that work, right?
Yeah.
All right. So just make sure that when I go to you, finish your thoughts, finish your contributions, wrap them up, and leave at that. And let me know you're done.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yes.
Make sense? Okay,
yes.
Great. Now, Leech. Again, you're right. Now, and we're going to flush out a little bit, not too deeply into the different tribes, but essentially, you've got the, Bo-Katan's sister. I believe she is, isn't she? The Duchess Satine.
Satine, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was part of the pacifist, clan or whatever, whatnot, that ended up running Mandalore there for a while, whatnot, into the Clone Wars before she was killed.
And Obi-Wan hit that.
Yeah, Obi-Wan hit that and was in love with her and was willing to he was willing to throw away his saber for that ass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Although I would have personally went with Bo-Katan.
Right.
Me personally. Duchess Satine was kind of skinny for me. But that's okay. That's fine. I didn't like her whole headdress hair deal either. But then again, she was animated, so who knows?
Yeah.
But no. Basically, you've got you had the Night Watch, right? Mm-hmm. At one point, right? And wasn't that Bo's outfit?
Yeah.
Right. Wasn't it started off by one of the spawn of Paz Vizsla?
I believe so.
Yeah, and then she took over?
Oh, no, it's a pre-Vizsla.
Okay.
Pax. Pax is the guy we see in The Mandalorian.
Okay, yeah. Pre-Vizsla, yes. Now, and then she becomes dissuaded by that whole approach and whatnot. And then, of course, we get is it the Night Owls?
No, Night Owls were even before that rift between the violent gang.
There you go, folks. That's how messy this whole thing is. And they flushed this out. They sort of flushed it out a little bit in season 3 in a way that's digestible. But you've got to get into the lore and you really got to do the reading. Well, not everything, and put the time in to really understand the real depth of the whole Mandalorian civil war spanning thousands of years, I guess.
Yeah, Jeff. So the thing with Bo-Katan is that she actually created her own clan. She didn't it wasn't like an electoral process or anything. Because did you see the Clone Wars season 5?
I haven't gotten to season 5 yet. I'm in season 3 still.
Okay, that's why. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Well, yeah, no, I totally understand what you're talking about. What is the clan that she starts?
So basically, Pre-Vizsla and Darth Maul fight over, control the Mandalorians. Maul wins, and then
he gets a Darth Saber. Yep.
Yeah, and then Bo-Katan gets disillusioned. She doesn't think that Are you okay, dude? You want to drink first?
Keep going.
Okay. So Bo-Katan believes, dude, do you need a doctor? Do you need a doctor, bro?
No, I mean not as long as it's like a private in call like hot nurse or whatever you can send over. I don't.
Oh
No,
my
I'm good.
God. Okay, but anyway, so Bo-Katan believes that if you're not a Mandalorian, you don't have any right to rule Mandalorians, even though you did the tradition and won, which you will learn more about in season 5 of Clone Wars. So a lot of people believe, have the same ideology as her, so they create their own, division. Now, the one where Din Djarin is in, that's the one that Maul leads.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, so that's now you be talking about, of course, the Mandalorians that ended up being pushed over onto the moon. And,
they were in the Moon of Concordia even before.
Okay, yeah, no, they were basically like rebels almost, weren't they? Like they were the remnants. They lost in the Civil War, right? They ended up there, right? Kind of like as almost as a punishment. They started their own society there, had their own government and whatnot, right? I forget the name of the character that ran it, right? But either way, and then they ended up having their own civil war.
I mean, once they took over Mandalore, that's when they had their own civil war.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just goes back and forth, them fighting each other. That's what Bo talks about a lot throughout the whole series, which I thought was a great addition with her, right? But no, going into episode 1, right? Now, right off the bat, of course, again, this is, of course, called The Apostate. And right off the bat, it starts off with the armorer, which I love this scene. I do. And I'll go to you, Nate, first on this. The armorer creates this new Mandalorian helmet. And then they actually show us an induction of a young boy into the Creed. For the first time, we watch it done. I thought this was actually a great way to start the first episode of the season. I thought this was a great way to set the tone. If you're looking back at it now, you should have known right there, okay, they're deep diving the Mandalorian race itself. We're going to get into the history. We're going to get the lore right here, right? Why else would they be doing this? You know what I'm saying? To me anyway, right? Because I'm assuming that crafting the new helmet deal that the armor does is probably something that's been passed on to other people, other armorers throughout his history of Mandalore. That's probably been a role, right? I would imagine, Leech, where there's always been someone or multiple people that filled those roles.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And probably were kind of soothsayers and had influence to some extent, among the Mandalorian people, had status. Now, right off the bat, of course, during the induction, we get one of the fucking dopest. I have no idea how much it costs to do this shit. Like awesomest right from jump. We get like some crazy ass alligator dinosaur monster ass dude. Right? Comes out of the water. This thing is massive. It is fucking huge. It was so well animated. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
When I saw that shit.
Can I ask one question of the panel? Who here thought that was a flashback to when Din Djarin was becoming Mandalorian? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like the Naboo starfighter comes flying out, and I'm like, wait, how is he, like, what is going on here? And then I realized that it was, it was current timeline stuff, But I really really thought you were seeing Din Djarin getting indoctrinated.
You thought the little boy was Din?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I never even thought about it like that when I saw it. It never even occurred to me.
Oh,
okay. But the boy had longer hair than Din.
Yeah, but I figured that when they showed him before, he was being saved. And his hair was shorter, but I thought that maybe, he just, kind of grew into it or whatever. But, I totally thought it was him being brought into the tribe. But I agree with you, Jeff. Like, it was really cool to see, like, the actual, what would you say? The ritual.
Whatever that monster was, I'm not sure. I mean, I tried to look it up to see if anybody, any sources could actually name that as some kind of beast or creature or whatever.
Yeah.
From the Star Wars lore or whatever, from the novels, from anything, like, you know what I'm saying? And there was nothing in the wikis, nothing. There was nothing actually that would describe or label with any sort of like origin or evidence from anything Star Wars related, where they can name what that creature was. But either way, that thing was massive. It was impressive. The Mandalorians are no joke. So like they're all armored up and ready to rock and roll. Like Mandalorians don't fuck around when it's time to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like they're just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like the only problem is they don't have to worry. We have to deal with like dudes hiding behind cell phone screens and shit and computer screens. Well, they just get on, but they still can't. They can't fuck with this thing. So of course, like you said, Mando swoops in. Right? He's got what is his ship called?
Oh, the Razor Crest.
Yeah,
which
Razor
one? The
Crest
old one or
was
the
the
new
original.
one?
Was the original, but I don't know that he named the Starfighter.
No, it's no, but you know what? I'll point this out. I know exactly what kind of ship it is. But now, Nate, I'll only go to you and ask you. You can start off, and then I'll go to you, Jay, and I'll go to you, Jess, and wrap it up. So basically, Mando comes in with Grogu and whatnot, and rocks it out and whatnot, and like takes this thing apart, basically pretty quickly. And he speaks with the armorer, and this is your typical Mandalorian, episode to me right off the bat. I was like, okay, they're following different characters a little bit, but they're following the footsteps of the other two seasons. Like we're gonna get action right from jump. It's gonna be quick. A lot of movement, travel, like like Darjin, like the Jin usually does, where he's just him and Grogu are flying from planet to planet and shit, right? That kind of action, that kind of movement and fluidity throughout the episode. I'm like, okay, I know about this. This works. Like, what I'm saying? I like this shit. I dig this. I can handle Grogu as long as I get this shit. Show me some ships flying in space and hyperspace and shit. I even fucking like cried inside and shit and whatnot when they went in hyperspace and Grogu cuddled with fucking Mando.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I'm saying? No, seriously. I got the poster on the wall of it. That scene, because it was so powerful. It was such a big moment for me. It changed my life, right? Anyways, though, but no. So, at that point, the armor basically just explains to, Mando, she already knows this, I believe, that, because he's removed his helmet, which he's admitted, of course, he has to bathe in the living waters in order to redeem himself as a true Mandalorian. He's not exiled. Essentially, I don't think. Is he exiled at that point, Nate? When he does remove his helmet and tell the armor, is he considered exiled from the Mandalorian race?
Well, he says you're no longer
Mandalorian. Or is it the creed?
I think it was the Mandalorian. I think it was just the Mandalorian race. I think it was the whole thing, because No,
go ahead. You're good.
I'm not going to remember. I think it was just the whole.
I think Leach is right. Leach is right. I think that's what it was. So let me ask you. No, Nate. Let me ask you. Now, right, like basically, this is a very quick episode, and right off the bat, I just wanted to mention this episodically a little bit just to set a tone before we can kind of move past it. You guys can jump wherever you want. Right? If you want to go forward from episodes 1 through 3 and talk about shit that happens in episode 3 right now, off one question for episode 1, I don't care. Go take as much latitude as you want to have. Right? This is a full season, breakdown and whatnot, recap. So let loose. But Nate, basically nothing really comes out that important after that. I mean, once the armor speaks to to Mando, and him and Grogu take off. At that point, after the Gator Monster deal. He just jumps to the ship, and he shows her the Vaskar fragments, of course, that that he got, I guess, from the Jawas. How those fuckers got that shit, I have no idea. But whatever. Basically, Mando believes the planet is still like livable because of this his own optimism, I guess, and because of this proof. Although the armor does not agree. We see them flying in space, and we see something really interesting that I'm just learning about now, which is when Grogu sees the Purgu whales in hyperspace, the space whales from Rebels who took Ezra, to the unknown place where Grand Admiral Thrawn is, whichever this dimension is or reality is that they're at or whatever, which should lead into Ahsoka, I would hope. So Nate, going right to that point right there, right, and then. Just off this question, any thoughts What'd you think of the premise of like? I thought that was like to me. We were getting typical Mandalorian right there. I was like, all right, different people, different shit going on, but like same flow, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be the same kind of deal, same kind of type series, and you know, I felt comfortable with it. Whatnot, it even seemed interesting. I was like, okay, they're getting deep with this shit, right? Like they ain't fucking around no more. Like there's no more joking around. It seemed like it was a very serious tone they set. Really, I thought right from jump.
It was the same structure, but different kind of. The pacing was different. I felt like it was a typical man, and I'm going to use music terminology. Different structure, but they just put it at a faster tempo.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
Because a lot of Disney shows would start off slow, then to get to it.
Keep talking. Don't you have the audio delay, man? You just keep talking. Don't worry about me. Say what you want to say.
I finished.
Okay. Well, you know what? Honestly, that's exactly what I said to the chick that I was hanging out with last night. After after I pounded it out for like an hour and a half straight, I was like, "I'm finished, bitch." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me call you an Uber now.
Yeah, and she was like, "Whatever you say, sir, Master, Master Jeff, true knowledge." As I had my fucking mask on, my Tusken Raider mask and shit, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I get it now, baby. Anyways, though, you know, either way, Mr. Jassim, your thoughts, sir? The intro, I want to point it out because I really just think it was very poignant. You understood my question. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I share the same thoughts as everyone else. I mean, what Leach said, which is, at first, you know, we kind of had this thought that it might be back, you know, like a peak in the past of Mando possibly, you know, joining the Creed. At least we know what planet they're on. I was surprised, though, to see, like, all the Mandalorians were all back, because back in the end of season 1, we thought that, you know, as we saw that view of all the Beskar armor just, like, thrown on the ground, I thought, like, everyone just abandoned the Creed. I didn't know, somehow, they came back all together on this planet. I don't know how, but I'd be curious to hear about it. And also the sea monster thing, that was unexpected, but also pretty cool.
The animation was really good on that shit, wasn't it?
It really was.
It looked real, organically real. Like it looked like a tangible thing that could exist to me.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the water. I mean, effects of water here are like a lot harder to do. So bravo to the team.
Oh, Nate, how do you feel about fucking the condescension you got to deal with and whatnot when you've got Leech and fucking Wrath of Khan over here living in their condo complex and shit and whatnot with their fucking like $2 million fucking condos and shit and whatnot, right? And look at me and you are living in fucking squalor.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Nate. I don't pay rent at Leech's house, so.
It's just amazing how we.
Hey,
it's amazing how we have the same layout.
Like, Jackson only pays the rent that $20 version of rent that Leech was talking about earlier. Anyways, we'll put that in a t-shirt too. I promise. But but Leech, what did you think of that intro? I mean, you heard what the younger gentleman here had to say. I thought it was really well done. I thought it. I'm not talking about how the rest of the whole season played out.
Yeah.
The intro itself, I thought, established something where I was like interested. I was like, okay, the intellectual side of me kicked in, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I just got done watching Andor and doing that, reviewing that. I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, since I didn't see the Clone Wars, like I told you, I just saw like bits and pieces, and there was a lot of like literature that the books that dealt with the Mandalorian race and all these different things, and I I didn't feel vested enough to read all that stuff and learn about this new religion and everything that goes with it. So everything I learned about Mandalore, I've learned through the Mandalorian, and a little bit with Rebels. So the fact that they did show that, and they told you about the different sects and things like that, really did a lot for me for my Star Wars lore. Just being told this stuff is a lot easier to manage than like reading multiple books and things like that. So they give you the information you need to learn, and I'm sure we're not finished learning about the religion, but yeah. So yeah, it was cool to see that somebody being indoctrinated into the clan.
Most definitely, and basically, I mean, from that point on, the way things kind of flow from episodes 1 through 3 are basically very simple. It's not really complicated, the storyline, right? The writing's good, there's not a lot of like in the first 2 episodes. There's not a lot of really like interpersonal like dialogue, really all that much.
Right.
It's very short and very like direct and whatnot for the most part, right? Because we're talking about things like Grogu and that doesn't even talk. He just like coos and shit, like shit, whatever shit. I mean, whatever. I mean, he should go hang out with the Tuskens for a couple of years. Like that should be a part of the deal, like for the new Jedis and shit. Instead of just like fucking with and go and get like all Jedi trained in my Skywalker and shit, you should then have to fucking like kick it with the Tuskens for 2 years, right? And do all that crazy shit.
Can you make a Tusken sound, Jeff?
Nah, bro. No. You know what I'm saying? Look, I can do a lot of shit, man, but like I'm telling you right now, my ability to impersonate sounds like that and shit whatnot is so fucking embarrassing that I will not even go there. All right.
I mean, how about something easier like a Wookiee?
No, I'm not doing it, bro. I tried the other day on the phone, with somebody and whatnot, everything. It was fucking disgusting, bro. It sounded worse than fucking Shuri as the Black Panther in Wakanda Forever when she was like, Wakanda Forever, like a little bitch or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I almost fucking fell out when I saw that shit. I was like, yo, Wakanda Forever, the fuck. Bitch, I can fucking knock you out with my breath if I just breathed on you.
Right.
Over here dabbing fucking Namor and shit. What's up? Anyways, hats off though. But no, sorry about that, folks. I can't, the trauma of the Wakanda Forever is still affecting me. You know what I'm saying? Although, you know what? I did finally get my visa to go live. I can go visit Wakanda now because I did smash my way into Wakanda.
Sweet.
Yep. If you bang a certain amount of Wakandan queens, you can apply for a specific visa, right?
Very nice.
The GOOD dash D, big capital D, B21 visa, and right, it's good to go. So I met my numbers, and there you go. I'm now able to visit Wakanda. So I'll send you guys some vibranium next week. I promise.
Sweet. So one thing, Jeff, that I well, you kind of missed out on it if you didn't see the Book of Boba Fett. And,
go ahead.
When Din Djarin goes to see the armorer, and now he has the Darksaber at this point.
You're right.
He is literally the ruler of Mandalore, right? And then she goes, "Oh, well, you took your helmet off. Well, you're no longer Mandalorian." I wanted him just to be like, "Bitch, I am Mandalorian. You're no longer Mandalorian." You know what I mean? Like who are you to tell me I got the Darksaber? I run your ass.
Well, no, I was going to say, Leash, in the private chat, I don't think the vibe I got. Don't get me wrong, and Jasmine, Nate, you could opine if anything. Jasmine, you can go. And then Nate, my feeling at that point was that things were so disconnected and disorganized between the different Mandalorian clans. And so, just not punitive and whatnot, living in different places and whatnot, right? To where they're nowhere near each other, to where the normal power or weight that like just having the Darksaber would normally be there or whatever and whatnot. Because look, the whole trope you see throughout the whole series, especially with Bo, is this whole like her whole inner battle with like, you know what I'm saying, with like but needing to be convinced to go back and like re-believe in like the fundamentals of the core, the good fundamentals of the man of the what Mandalorian is supposed to be, yet be willing to change, which she already has with like, you know, the non-helmet shit, right?
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying?
She did commit to going back to wearing her helmet full time.
Sure. I know, and that pissed me off too, because I was really hoping to try to get a BJ from her at some point and whatnot. Now that's just probably totally, it's over now, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but either way, but no, seriously, I think that, you know, as we, you know, in the first 2 episodes, basically, we get a lot of, not a lot of heavy inner dialogue. We do get the really good deal where, what was the planet that we were talking about? Oh, I have it right here. We were talking about Leech and whatnot, and where when Mando Navarro, when they go to Navarro, right, and he jumps out of the ship and does one of his fucking Jedi flips and shit, whatnot, right? I think that was one of the first times he did that. That was dope. I like that. Grogu was actually good when he does that shit. I like that. Or no, that was when actually that was not Navarro. That was when fucking.
That was Tatooine.
That was literally when they went to go visit what's her name, Purga. What do you call it? What is her name? The mechanic chick and whatnot with the Jawas, and her stupid robots.
Peggy.
What's her name? Is
Peli.
it Mickey? Oh,
Peli. Yes, they go to
Remember
see.
Grogu actually says her name.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he jumps right into her like arms and shit, whatnot, and everything, right? Like they like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he loves her because he's like babysat. She's babysat him and everything and whatnot. Either way, so basically, no, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to think. Either way, it doesn't matter how the I guess the structure of the exact, you know, like fluency of this worked out. But essentially, you know, he goes over there. The Jawas are dope as fuck as usual, whatnot, and everything. He ends up needing he needs the part for the droid that he gets from Karga, right? So there you go. So Karga, that does happen first. He gets the droid from Karga because he's got to go to to Mandalore, and he needs a proper droid that he can actually put out and scan the surface to judge and see, you know, map out from whatnot and see how livable and how breathable the atmosphere is and whatnot, how toxic it is, whatever. At that point, basically, he does see, you know, go to see, you know, Karga, and essentially, you know, Navarro has prospered, right, and everything and whatnot, and you know, he offers him a position and all that shit and whatnot, you know, to basically, I guess, to be what Kara used to be, right?
What was that?
Ranger, right? Yeah.
No, there was
no Ranger.
Yeah, there was a certain title for his position. Oh my gosh, I forget.
No,
it's almost like a sheriff. It was Marshall. It was Marshall. He was going to be a marshal.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, and they do mention too. They bring this up. They mention that Mando asks about Kara, and Karga says, you know, that she was elevated from Ranger to special forces.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when she brought Moff Gideon in, which I thought was a good send off to the actress, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't think it was fair how they treated her, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it definitely does not close the door on her character.
I hope not.
You know, I hope she does come back.
But Nate, basically, right? Like, you know, for the first episode overall, you know, we get the whole deal where, you know, basically he goes to see Karga. He needs the bot. We get the really funny shit. That scene where where we see those little tiny like alien creatures that that try to fix the bot and everything like that.
The Pitroids?
Yeah, Grogu tries to eat one of them or some shit or like hug it or whatever.
Guys. Oh yeah, the and Solion.
Something like that.
Yeah. He's not trying to, he's just hugging them.
Those fucking things are hilarious, dude. They were funny as shit. I was laughing my ass off watching those bastards.
Like, no, bad baby.
The
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that was Babu Freck.
Yeah, he was there.
Where do they go with these fucking names, man? Jesus Christ.
I know.
Oh my god. Anyway,
I think they all get high and just like.
That's what I do. Yeah, yeah. Why not? You know, fuck it. Yeah, there you go. But no, so Nate, basically, right? I guess if you want to talk about episode 1 overall, right? We end up, all basically happens after that is we get the pirate deal where they fight the pirates. They're in the streets of the school. Mando, rejects the offer from Karga because he obviously has to go to Mandalore. We get the funny scene with the little alien, mechanics and shit. And at that point, when Mando starts to put, I guess it's IG-11 back to life, he goes back to his original program. He tries to kill Grogu, and they end up, killing it. They drop some statue on his ass or whatever, whatnot. And essentially, basically, we end up getting, Kara. I'm sorry, excuse me, Kara. We end up seeing Mando going with Grogu to Kal Valhalla, to the home of House Kryze. And we see Bo-Katan's fucking, like pissy ass fucking cunt attitude and shit, whatnot, that she's got going on, where she's all isolated and shit, whatnot, right? Telling him that like the waters are dead and everything and whatnot, and all this shit. The planet's toxic, it's unlivable, whatever. And Mando being like, whatever, I'm going anyway. I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking. Yeah. This is the way, bitch. So Nate, sir, tell me, going into episode 2, right? Off episode 1. What did you think of episode 1, right? And overall, I know it's a lot, but just kind of try to be concise with it. And then, were you happy? I mean, at that point of the episode, and as you got into episode 2, were you happy with the first episode? Did you feel like the show had momentum from jump?
To answer your second question first, yes, I do think the show did have a momentum because it gave some missing puzzle pieces that we did leave off some questions. I was able to see where they were able to go through from that. And to answer your first question, yes, I was happy because I am kind of curious about those puzzle pieces and trying to figure those out.
Okay. Mr. Leach.
Yes,
your thoughts, sir. Same question.
All right, repeat the question so I'm on the same page.
Your synopsis on that first episode, and then did you feel like it based just off that before you went into episode 2, you felt like that episode had momentum, would have momentum.
Oh yeah,
right,
no,
and everything
no
went
doubt.
out.
Like I was saying at the beginning, like I thought that this entire season was gonna be what happened between 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, I was very excited. I will tell you that the one-liner that was in there, that's using your head, it just like really, I was like, oh no, is this really where the series is going? It's going to be one-liners and this and that, and I lived through the 80s, so I'm I've had enough one-liners in my life, but so I'm glad it didn't stay that route. But as far as overall, that first episode was pretty solid, and like I was telling you, Jeff, earlier, that the one pirate that did not get killed out of all the pirates is going to be the main protagonist, or no, antagonist in the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, I actually didn't know about that.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead if you want to just take a couple minutes on that. Go ahead, Leach. Just explain that.
No, so the Skeleton Crew is there's very little known about it, other than that Jude Law is a Jedi, whether he's a Jedi Master or what have you, but he's a teacher for these young students, and they're like young students. I'm talking between like 10 and 15, and they were on basically a class trip, and their ship gets taken over by pirates, and it's the kids and Jude Law working together to, get back to normal life. So I forget where I was getting with that, but But so so that in a nutshell. You asked me to sum it up in 2 minutes.
No.
There you go. That's in a nutshell. That's what it is.
Did you feel like that it established like some kind of momentum going into episode 2, where you like at that point right now? At that point,
Oh
you
yeah,
had
no
you had a
doubt.
good feeling.
I was definitely hooked, and I couldn't wait till next Wednesday. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, Jassim, same question, brother.
For me, I felt it had a lot less momentum than like the other 2 season's first episodes. I don't know. I guess from the beginning of season 3, I just felt it was a little bit off, but I was optimistic that it could get better down the line. Well, unsurprisingly, I look at the stats, and The Mandalorian season 3, the very first episode, was the lowest viewed first episode of any season of Mandalorian.
Wow,
Oof.
I did not know that.
And then the views just like kept declining, like with episode 2 and then 3. I'm not sure where it picked back up, but I do know near the end they finished strong.
Good to know. Good to know. That's really good to know. Well, now, as far as episode 2 goes, I don't think I really have to really explain much about the episode 2. I mean, I'll tell you what. If you want, Leech, why don't you go ahead and kind of just explain episode 2? What I was going to basically just do is just say that it's the same thing as episode 1. It just leads into, if you want, it takes us into what I think is the best, for me, the best episode, which is, when they go into the mines. I believe it's called, what is it called? The Mines of Mandalore, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead and just kind of like lay it out kind of like really quick, maybe quicker than I could, as far as like the events of what, concisely of what goes down, and all that, whatnot. Just lay that out real quick, and we can just kind of just go around and talk about it for a minute. Then we can kind of just, individualize and wrap up and kind of just, I guess kind of get into why, the 3rd episode ended up being, I guess, probably somewhat controversial, or like a lot of people, probably a bigger percentage than people who didn't like it, or feel like it fit really well into the series. Mm-hmm. Right. So, if you want, but feel free, sir, have at it, and just kind of like, give a quick synopsis of how episode 2 flies out. Yeah.
I agree with you that episode 2 is probably one of the best of the series, or of the season. Not the series, but of the season, and the fact that he, no matter what everybody told him, especially like Bo-Katan, she made it seem like it was uninhabitable. Same with the Armorer. You can't go to Mandalore; it's done. It's been crystallized, or what have you. But he still he had to try. So he goes back to Mandalore, finds out very quickly that it is he can breathe, and everything like that. So he and Grogu hop out, and they're going to find the mines, or the living waters under the city hall, and they run into all these different creatures on the way. Some look like cavemen. Then there's this like spider monster that looks like a weird version of Grievous, General Grievous. So basically it's this little being, but it has this huge ectoskeleton that he controls. It's a modified crab. What do you call it? It's from Star Wars lore. It's I'm sorry about that. My notes got fucked up. Okay, I got it right here. All right, it's a shit. Here it is. I got it. Okay, so it's a
Clone Wars 2, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. No, it's called a. Here it is. It's a. Basically, it's a modified crab droid. That has a carriage inside the stomach where there's like a biomechanical creature, right?
Yeah.
/ droid that does very much is very similar to General Grievous. It is, right?
Yeah. So this thing for some reason wants his blood, and he takes the dark saber from him, which is very important in storytelling. So he takes the dark saber from him, he says to Grogu, go get Bo-Katan. So Grogu goes back. R5D4 is in the ship already. Takes it back, finds Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan's like, "Where is he?" Like at first she came out, she's like, "I told you never to come back here again," and then realizes that the Mandalorian's not in the ship, and she's like, "Oh my God, where is he?" So she comes back, or she goes to where Din Djarin is, fights this spider droid, but uses the Darksaber to defeat him.
Well, first of all, though, she savages those. What are they called?
The caveman guys.
Yeah, they're called. They're the lizard people ones and whatnot and everything, and they're called Alamites, I believe.
Okay.
And she just like straight up fucking comes in with her blasters and her personal protective shield and shit and whatnot. And just straight fucking serves them up. Like she can throw down Bo-Katan.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd love to see.
I did like those fight scenes with her. She was badass.
I'd love to know how much Katie Sackhoff actually does those scenes. Like how much her participation is in those action scenes.
Oh, what is CGI and stuntmen? You mean?
No, more stuntmen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like how much is she actually pulling off that action and actually pulling those scenes off? Well, she seems like she's in good shape.
Yeah, and it seems like when they do train their actors, like especially when it comes to like lightsaber work, they get into it, So I would assume that that those combat skills were definitely taught,
Sure.
So she ends up saving Mando, and at the same time reclaiming the Darksaber, which you don't find out till later in the season, is very important. That she now has reclaimed, and there's a loophole. Because before, when in season 2, you were like, at the end of season 2, you were like, well, she's going to have to kill the Mandalorian to get the Darksaber. But since she killed the thing that took the Darksaber from Din Djarin, she is now the rightful owner. So that, they found this loophole. And, in that episode, that was pretty much the episode in a nutshell. I loved it. That was probably my favorite one of the entire season.
Yeah, me too. Nate, would you agree? I thought probably for me that like episode 8 and episode 2 were probably my best episodes.
Yes, because of some of the flashbacks to some of the earlier shows.
Would you want to expound?
So, I love that they use kind of a lot of Star Wars: The Clone Wars references, especially in these first 2 episodes, and I do like their explanation. I don't remember what episode this was. I can't remember what the episode was off the top of my head. When they actually, when they were going in further in the season, and Mando was actually explaining to all the other, some of the other guys about what we were talking about earlier, about how she defeated the droid using the Darksaber. But I like the villain that they were fighting because of the I just feel like there was a lot of references to other shows in that fight.
Okay. I think I understand what you mean. What did you think, Jassim? Did you have like 1 or 2 favorite episodes? Like I told you, I thought 2 and 8 were the best episodes. I thought 8 was probably, if anything, and we'll get into this on the next installment, the next part on this and whatnot. More, but like I thought that they put too much in episode 8 though, right? Like they should have left some of it out and saved it for the finale. But what'd you think?
I mean, it was a great episode. I mean, not really my favorite. Well, if I watch it again, maybe it might become. But I liked episode 7 a lot more. I don't know. I guess with episode 2, it's great, but I just prefer more action with like not with like creatures, but with other stuff. It's more of a preference thing.
Which one was 7?
That was like what I call like the best episode. How they decided like all go to Mandalore finally, and then
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't 8. I'm sorry, there was 8 episodes. 7 and 2 were my favorite episodes. 7 and 2. That's what I was saying. I thought they overpacked episode 7. They put too much in that bitch. Remember, Leach? We talked about that before in the show.
Yeah.
They did too much. That's what fucked the finale.
I mean, the finale was beautiful, but I did not expect they're gonna make another season of Mandalorian.
I agree. They like that final episode. They kind of closed the book because you know that the Mandalorians are now rebuilding Mandalore.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
Save it because we have to wait till at least the second part before we actually before we start getting into how they're going to do the 5th season and the 4th season. And I just want to put it out there. I already played the thing earlier. Yeah. Favreau already publicly admitted. I'm sure some of you must have heard it already. He already said that he hasn't even written half the story he planned on writing for the Mandalorian.
Correct.
So if that correlates to more seasons, at that point, if that writing is driven, is focused towards the Mandalorian, which is what he seemed to implicate, that would mean that they've already, as far as what I've read, what I've heard, and Nate, Jasmine, you can whatever you put your thoughts in, whatever you think, Leach, it's already basically a done deal. They're going to do a 4th season. There's going to be a 5th season.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I was just it just seemed like there was too much closure for the fact that they were going into another season.
Yeah, but you know what? I think, and here, and this, I'll put this around. Nate, you first. I think that at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
They had to change things up at some point, right? The way that look, let's be honest here. The whole fucking just having Grogu cuddling with fucking Mando all the time bullshit does not play long term. We talked about this before too. Me and you, Jess, have talked about this before. It doesn't work. Like you can't have that. You can't have 7 seasons of that shit. I'm sorry, but like even people are gonna start being like me. We're like in every finale, the end of the Mandalorian seasons, I'm always like, fuck. I wish they would have just killed Grogu. Fuck. Like you know what I'm saying? Put him in a fucking
or stayed with Luke and connected 5 years down the timeline.
Whatever. Just get rid of his ass. You know, I don't care.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a sack with some rocks, throw him off the cliff, or you can leave it with fucking Luke. I don't give a fuck. Just eliminate him from the series.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he's convinced that the only reason Grogu came back after season 2 is the fact that he sells toys.
Yep. Yeah. There you go. And he's a big inspiration to the furry community. So Nate, Nate, what the fuck was I even talking about or asking you about? No, I'm fucked up over here, man. What the fuck? No, but Nate, honestly, man, did you think that? Okay. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I was going to say 2 things. One, do you see more of Luke coming in season 4?
No.
And then the second question is actually something that that other people, some of my friends, have pointed out while we were watching this show. My parents as well, but I think there is going to be more onto the, I guess, the Mandalorian training, and well, that as well. But I also can see Bo-Katan and Mando. If that was it. Anyway, I do see them at some point maybe getting together.
Yeah, I could see that. There's definitely a chemistry between the two, and there's definitely a mutual
chemistry together. So I could.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
Wait a minute. Nate, I'll go right back to you, but I want to make sure I understand this. You're saying you think that in season 4, there's actually you're going to see Mando like somehow like find his hole down there by his private area and be able to like stick his PP up in Bo-Katan's butt or something or some shit.
Not going that that far.
No,
Yeah, that's not rated.
I never felt like I noticed any romantic connection between them. Jasmine, did you? I never saw it.
Wait, what? Wait, what's going on?
Talking about Bo-Katan and
Jasmine,
and
listen.
Charn.
For not fucking know what's going on, you get this new award. We're giving out this new award now to our guests, right? There you go. Right? There you go. There's your award. There you go. There you go, folks. That was from The Shining, our Shining review, right?
I saw a little bit of that's as far as I'm gonna go.
That child actor that plays the kid in that movie is about as good as fucking from Bloodsport. Dukes' child actor playing fucking Dukes in Bloodsport is so bad, man. It's fucking he's terrible. Did you see? You know what I'm talking about, bro?
No, I've never seen Bloodsport.
You ever saw Bloodsport? Oh my god.
That's a Van Damme movie, right?
Yeah, dude, we're the best. Anyways, so no, but Nate, in general, what do you think about IBS episode 3? Right? A lot of people were very critical about it. I think when we reviewed it, I think most people on the panel did not like it. Right? Overall, I think it got really low scores. It did. I can honestly say though proudly that it was really cool. The other night when we reviewed Starship Troopers, me and Andres, the pop culture guy, and Cyber, they both dropped 10s and I did 9.5. And it's nice to have a night like that once in a while where everybody kind of like is right there in that same spot. You know what I'm talking about, Nate. It's nice, you know what I'm saying? It's good to have the contrast, but either way, I liked episode 3. I did. Right, Nate? I did. I enjoyed it. Jasmine, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was interesting, the contrast it brought. Mm-hmm. I just didn't know the backstory. You know what I'm saying? So I just enjoyed the episode. I liked the contrast of it. I'm that kind of person. So Nate, did you feel like, now later on, now we know more about, and obviously I believe the Perishing character was actually in the first episode of the Mandalorian, wasn't he?
Oh wow.
He was.
I think he was, because they were building up to that.
Yeah, he was in the first episode of The Mandalorian. He was. So now, Nate, now of course, you know, there's the other character there too, the woman, the female character that's very prominent, and I'll pull up her name right now in the episode. But did you feel like that episode threw you off at all, or like you found that as like something that really kind of like diverted you away a little bit from the series, or took something away from it? You weren't happy with it?
No. I mean, it threw me off, but now I'm trying to find the right words here. It did throw me off a little bit, but I didn't. Because I didn't hate it, but it was. I didn't see where they were going with.
Sure. No. A lot of the people on the panel that I didn't even pay attention to this or think about this when I watched it or come into the review. Jasmine, would you understand that most people were like, this episode does not flow with it doesn't flow with the other episodes. Like, this does not make sense with the story, right? Like,
yeah. If I last recall, I think it was somewhere in season 1 where the last time we saw Dr. Pershing in physical form was when he was like left on that Imperial shuttle, and then we just like never seen him since. Season 2 was just a recording of him, so I don't really know how he even landed in Coruscant. I didn't even know that this program existed, the one that brought Dr. Pershing in. So yeah, you okay, man?
Yeah, man, my vape is strong, man.
Okay.
I'm not smoking nicotine, baby.
Okay, good.
No doubt, my friend.
But yeah, I just overall all of that is why this episode just felt like it was in an odd place.
Now Justin wants to watch you and see if you cough, Leech, because he's interested. He's like, that sounds cool. You see that? You see that, folks? You see how we're influencing the youth over here on the bleeding edge and shit, whatnot, with this with our adult drug addictions and shit, and drinking and all this shit. No, honestly, real Wrath of Khan, I'll tell you right now, Jasmine, if you're gonna be the real Wrath of Khan, and Nate, at some point, if you're gonna be Nate the Great, at some point you're gonna have this. You're both above the legal age to drink alcohol. You need to come on the panel on the Bleeding Edge and actually have an alcoholic fucking beverage for once, and like actually like be Bleeding Edge style, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's nothing more Bleeding Edge than drinking during shows.
No deal.
But,
come on, Con, what's going on in that coffee mug you got there?
Just water.
Nate, come on. Please tell me you've got the balls to actually come on and have a beer or something at some point.
I don't.
Yeah, Nate's on mushrooms right
I
now.
don't drink for two reasons. One, my medical history. I just I would say what you want across the rest of the world, but it's even more of a bad idea for me to drink. I have a lot of additional problems with it.
I respect you for that.
It'd be bad for my kidneys. I guess that's where I'm going with this.
Well, I'd say, I mean, you've also maybe got some mutant powers too, because when you go into like your Iceman mode there with your fucking video, it's almost like maybe your X gene activated. You know what I'm saying? And like now, like, you know, you've got mutant powers to like be able to, you know.
Hell yeah.
Nate, you can't see your videos. You don't know what I'm talking about, bro. But when you see this, it'll be funny. But no, Nate, I respect that, brother. Hey, look, you know how fucked up I am, man. I still drink, man. I just go really gentle on it. I don't drink too much. You know, that's the only reason I drink on my shows is it's because I don't drink outside my shows. Other than recording, I really don't drink. I function better if I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I sleep better, right? If I don't drink, and that's important to me right now. So, but not, man. It is Bleeding Edge style. It's gonna become mandated very soon that you have to consume alcohol occasionally as a guest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to, you know what I mean? No, but so Nate,
maybe I'll bring a Sprite.
Okay, you can bring a Sprite, brother. So Nate, you tell me, coming out of episode 3 yourself, and then what you were hearing from like whatever you were watching off YouTube, whatever, the word of mouth on the street. Did you feel like at all like you felt dissuaded away from the season at all, or you were noticing some flack, like the show getting some flack from like any of the fandom or anything like that, and whatnot?
No, I actually didn't really pay attention to like how other people reacted to it. So I can't actually give like a best answer on this one. But I can say from my own personal view, I don't think that for my own personal view, I just didn't think it was good as the ones before it.
That's perfectly fair.
Go on a little bit off topic.
No, that's perfectly fair. And now, Jassim, same question. Did you go into episode 3? Did you watch it episodically as it came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I gave my answer before.
Oh, my bad, Leech. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah, I honestly felt that the entire episode was very unnecessary, unless there was some tidbit of information that was given through that will come back later in the in the series. But like, we already know how brutal the Empire is via Andor, and you know, it's just the fact that they spent that much time, building up, this sanctuary, for a lack of a better term, and then to show that somebody who is infiltrated that or is part of that is still, what's the word, towards the Empire. They're still Empire, basically.
Yeah.
I just thought that it was so unnecessary. We already know everything that happened in that episode, except for the fact that she fried his brain. But so take that entire storyline and imagine it not even being in it, not even being part of the Mandalorian,
and that would be Elia Kane.
Okay, but it would not change the series. It added nothing and it took nothing away. But great background.
Well, no, I mean, you know what? I mean, I mean, Leach, would you rather just had some shitty filler Mandalorian episode or that?
Probably some shitty filler Mandalorian episode.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Except, like I said, I've said it like 13 times already, but the whole Lizzo, Jack Black, Christopher Lloyd episode, but that was a complete waste of time. Made me angry. And the fact, like, I like the Mandalorian because there's practical effects. It's like the return to practical effects. Like, screw CGI. And then all of a sudden you have an entire CGI episode. Everything that was on Lizzo's planet, whatever that was all CGI. So they're all working in a green room. They didn't work like out there in the deserts mimicking Tatooine or anything like that. It was like, oh, we're high class celebrities. We don't want to like deal with the weather and all this. We're just going to do a green screen. You guys work around us, And it was just, that episode was ass. I'm sorry.
But Leech,
yes.
In the end, that's where like things become important because that's how Bo-Katan actually like got that group to like follow her once again.
Wait, yeah. So that's the same episode where she gets to what's that guy's name? But anyway, and gets. I agree with that, but that had nothing to do with the Lizzo Jack Black storyline.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They just want to
they could have expanded on that whole dynamic and just made an amazing episode. But I just feel like, it was cheapened by having to throw these celebrities in there. It was like they were cashing in on an old favor. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we'll put you in the Mandalorian. It's all good.
But how about even the beginning with like the Mon Cala dating the squid, the Quarren?
See, I didn't like that. It was all CGI, and it was how they always like go kiss goodbye, and they're all like tentacles or stop that. And I wasn't into it, man.
I mean, I will admit this is the first time I've ever seen those two species, even if they both live on the same planet. This is the first time I've seen those two actually like truly like get along, because most of the time they don't get along.
Oh, okay. Was not aware of that. And that's why there was like this kind of Romeo and Juliet feel to it, because there was like the somebody didn't like somebody's family, or somebody's family didn't like somebody, Yeah, yes. A little William Shakespeare in there for.
It's an indirect Clone Wars reference.
Oh, okay.
Part of season 4. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So basically, when it comes to the casting of the film, of the series, in November 2018, Pascal was confirmed to be training the Mandalorian, being rumored to be cast. All right, here, let me just screen share this real quick. I think this is actually interesting. I pulled this up, and I thought you guys might like this. What basically Pascal says here. So you see here where Pascal, said that he saw himself. He saw the character as sort of like a Bruce Wayne, like a space. No, Clint Eastwood, like it is in this part right here, but I think it's up here maybe by where they actually have the casting characters right here. Yeah, see, he sees himself. Pascal compared Djarin as a lone bounty hunter with an advanced combat skills, a questionable moral character, to Clint Eastwood. What do you guys think about that, Leach? That he said that.
I can definitely see that. When you go back to a younger Clint Eastwood. Yeah, no doubt, and it's that type of storytelling throughout the Mandalorian. It's like an old western.
You're right. It's actually a really good trope, a really good contrast. I didn't think about it. It's very connective. Nate, you've seen some Clint Eastwood films before, haven't you?
I think I have.
Oh shit! Your audio delay went away. What happened, bro? Did you like? Did you
I think I do know what happened. So I had the battery juice to go up.
Well, just so you know, for next time you come on, too, your audio's a little choppy too. You might want to tighten your shit up a little bit. You haven't recorded it for a while, have you?
Okay. Besides some of my sports shows, no.
No. I think maybe you're having some Wi-Fi issues, possibly. But you're okay though. You were fine in the show and whatnot and everything. So Nate, do you
Okay.
now basically right? I felt like, and I guess this will probably be the last thing I'm going to ask you guys. I really felt like you know, the episode 3 thing. I don't really want to talk about it. There's no point in it. I'm not going to go over the whole deal or whatever, whatnot. It really makes no difference. However, they're going to play out this deal with Dr. Perishing whatnot across the span of whatever they're going to do. We'll see what happens with it, right? I can see how his knowledge on cloning could become obviously like useful, you know, to any, you know, many different factions. I'm interested in seeing like I love the lore of Mandalore. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing some kind of spin-off series where they just focus directly on the Mandalorians like lore at some point.
There has been rumors that there's going to be a Bo-Katan series.
Okay, well there you go. That's where I was going to go. It basically was just that. And we talked about that before Leech too. I remember I told you I thought they should give her her own series. Yeah. That was before I knew it was going to happen with the finale and everything, where we don't know where they're going to go. It very well could be a Bo-Katan. It's going to be like basically, who knows? We don't know how they're going to play out season 4. But Nate, do you feel like you know, they really, I guess in episode 2, they really inject Bo-Katan into the story, into the season, into the season where it's very much like they display her. I love the way that they display her in episode 2. She's awesome. I mean, she fucking like tears right through the fucking those Elamites and shit, whatnot, and those monsters and shit down there in the mines of Mandalore and shit. She just like is kicking their asses and shit. She's fucking she's disgusting in like combat.
Yeah.
No, and so Nate, do you feel like when she came in before, you know, don't worry about episode 3, were you happy to see that like Bo-Katan it was clear, I think, right there that you knew that she was going to have a featuring role in the season? Did you see that as a positive thing?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah, yes, because I do think that she, I do think she was kind of like a missing piece in a way. I don't know how to really expand on that though.
You're fine. And Nate, listen, brother, we'll send you off, man, and me and Leech and Wrath of Khan over here will close it out. But thank you for coming on, brother. We appreciate you. Please come back, brother. Hey, we got 2 more Sundays to do these and whatnot. You're welcome to come on whenever you want. And take care, brother. Appreciate you coming on, dude.
All right.
That's my buddy, Great Nate. I love that kid, man. Jasmine, I've been knowing you for so long. I've been knowing Nate for so long that like Leech is that dope. Like I've been telling, you saw right there in the beginning, like I've been telling Jasmine about Nate for years, and I've been telling Nate about Jasmine for years. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you right now, folks, if you ain't figured it out yet, I don't fuck around. True knowledge. Don't talk bad about people behind their backs and shit or whatever, or like does not want to be friends with people when he meets them and whatnot. I want to befriend people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I am. That's how I live my life. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I started the MCU's Bleeding Edge because I wanted to like get along with people more. Jasmine understands probably more than anybody because of the how things were on the platform originally we were on. At one point, and I don't talk about this much, folks. You know I don't. You know, I did cover politics, whatnot, and everything and all that. And Jasmine will tell you, I grinded every fucking day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's how it is like that. When you make that 1-minute TikTok Rizzle content, you just jam, baby. Day in, day out.
Machine gun with content.
Oh, man, yeah. You should see me, Leech. By the time, I was one of the last ones to get off on all the OGs, right? Like, all the other ones, like Jasmine and everybody else, DC, they'd all bounced the platform. Okay. But, no, but basically, sorry. What's going on, man?
I don't know. There's some fast car that just came by. Very suspicious. Just curious.
I know this chick, right? That every time I talk to her on the phone, she's always like walking around with this, and it's windy. And like the whole shtick is with her is that like I always tell her, I'm like, I think you live in the Twister dimension. We're like 24/7, 365. It's fucking Twister, the movie Twister, right?
Right.
Yeah. So either way, what do you think, Leach? Now, if you want to go a little bit if you want to elaborate about the Bo-Katan potentially having their own show, which I'd be totally down if they did that with Katie Sackhoff. I think it'd be great. I think she deserves it. I do.
Yeah.
She's a big Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah,
that's the facts. Like she loves playing Bo-Katan. And for me, there's nothing better than like watching the actor or the actress, right, Jasmine?
Mm-hmm.
Organically, right in front of you, tell you in an interview or something. Like I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I like this. This is like I wanted. Like, I hounded Dave Filoni for years.
Yeah.
To give me a role. You know what I mean?
I mean, she started off as like a voice actress.
Yeah.
For Bo-Katan, right. Like the cartoon version.
Well, no, she did, but she started off on Battlestar Galactica. That's when I first fell in love with her.
Right.
She was in Battlestar.
Yeah. She was Starbuck.
Oh, okay. I got to go back and watch that because I said the original Battlestar Galactica was like my series, And so
if you like the original, you love the one they did in the late '90s, early 2000s. I loved it. I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like sci-fi, man. I love it. No, what's his name? Edward Elmo. Elmo's whatever his name is. The guy who plays Adama on the show. Oh, let's not go down that route.
We're getting off track.
I'll talk to you sometime on the side about making some content about Battlestar Galactica. But no, so basically, flushed with the Bo-Katan deal, right? Did you feel like overall, carrying it off from episode 2, did you feel like it serviced the series for them to create that dynamic where I didn't detect the sexual vibe or whatever with them. I just felt like they worked well together. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about how they looked and performed as their characters. I'm talking about the actors and actresses themselves, Pascal and her. I felt like they worked well off each other. Like they vibed well off each other.
Yeah, very
right?
Much.
No, because Sackhoff is a little bit limited in like her ability. She's not Brie Larson level, like Captain Beery up in there. When it comes to emotional range and like the ability to act and like change her facial expressions, she's not her depressing state, but she's not exactly like killing it either, like and pulling off some you know what I'm saying, Oscar nominated type shit. So you tell me, what do you think? Like, did it service the season to go in that dynamic and give her that prominent role? Do you think they'll do a solo series with her? Like, does she merit one?
I don't know that she. Okay, she definitely rocked the role and added so much to season 3.
I don't just mean her as an actress. I mean like the character itself, Bo-Katan.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, but I don't know that it's enough to hold her own series. I don't think enough people would be on board with that. Me, I would honestly, I would just to look at her in that outfit in the Mandalorian armor. I would watch it for that, but maybe not much for the storyline.
I would pay her Patreon shit just so I could wash her hair in the shower.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right, Jasmine.
Wait, I'm not gonna comment on this, dude.
What do you mean? Why not? Huh? Did you forget you were on the bleeding edge, motherfucker? What's the deal?
I know I'm on the bleeding edge, but
what the fuck is this shit, man? Come on now. Just because okay,
being a diehard Star Wars fan, Con, wasn't it sexy to see her in Mandalorian armor?
It was.
You didn't get a little chubbed up? Come on, man.
Oh my!
Seriously, Jasmine Leach. It's like a dominant thing, like, you know what I mean, but it's not like a doming thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it. Like, it does turn me on. It's like it's dominant because I'm impressed by her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
And she's a strong female. probably
this is my penis, right? When I see Bo-Katan without her armor on and without her armor.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Who?
No.
Jessup, who would you rather have to fuck if you had to save the world? Captain Bree or fucking Bo-Katan?
You gotta show the pictures, dude.
No, I'm down. I'm down Bo-Katan.
That's a big.
That's a flat ass. Come on now.
Okay, I swear, Jeff. Firstly, you talk about Grogu with Bo-Katan, and now this.
I never said anything about. No, that's later on. That's in part 3 where I talk about Grogu and Bo-Katan getting it on. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, I'm telling you. No, but anyways, on a serious note,
They're going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can and I will.
That's right. That's right, Star Wars fandom. You ladies in the Star Wars fandom, you can and you will.
That's right.
Right? And if you could get me in contact with that chick with that fucking water bottle, I would love to hit that shit. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're out there, whatever the fuck your name is, we should talk. But not on Snapchat, though. Because only Jasmine talks to chicks on Snapchat.
I actually don't even have Snapchat.
Good. Don't ever have it.
Yeah, it's boring.
That's right. Get off Twitter, too, motherfucker.
Yeah, I signed up for Snapchat. I've gotten no snaps, no chat.
That's because that, you know what, Leech, believe me, you don't want them to do a Snapchat, man.
Nah.
No, it's honestly, it's just basically like a fucking one big circle jerk. It's a joke. But no, what do you think, Jasmine? Being a little bit younger, right? I mean, you never saw you never probably at all had any exposure to like Battlestar Galactica.
No, I've never seen.
I never even mentioned it to you. I don't think over the years I've known you. Did I ever mention it?
You've never mentioned it.
No, I didn't. So I never pointed out to you to watch it. I'm sure you like sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You like space stuff. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I always have. You know. I like Interstellar is one of my favorite films. Right.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Well, you like Interstellar?
Oh, yeah. Great! It's a classic, man.
I actually got bored of it.
No,
wait. Interstellar. Hold on. No, I'm thinking of something different. Interstellar is the one with
the one that Christopher Nolan did. The one, yeah, with McConaughey. That Christopher Nolan did. With,
no, you know what I was thinking about was Arrival. With
okay. With Hawkeye and fucking
yeah.
That fine ass chick there. What's her name?
Yeah, the redhead chick.
Won a couple Oscars.
Was it not Julianne Moore?
No, Juliette
Chastain.
No.
Wait, is it the one who had her own movie?
No.
No, not that one.
No.
You get on IMDb quick.
Her name is Amy.
Yes, Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Yeah. She was in she's been in a couple good movies. She was on fire at that point when she did Arrival.
Big time.
Yeah. No, she did that film with shit. What was it called? Hustle and Flow? Not Hustle. What was the one where she?
The Fighter.
No, what was the one she did? What was the one that she did that did really well with like the awards and whatnot and everything? That was with the Hunger Games chick, and
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, and also what's his name that plays Batman and the Batman trilogy? Christian Bale.
I know what you're talking about. And I can't remember the name of that.
I got it. I gotcha. I can't remember the name of it either. It's a really
Christian Bale played a guy that come to find out he was like partially bald and he had this like God, what was that?
Let's see. Come on, Google, you motherfucker. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, honey. What was that movie with Christian Bale, Amy Adams,
Jennifer Lawrence.
What is it? No, not that one.
This is fucking
American
ridiculous.
Hustle.
American Hustle, yes. There you go, folks. Jasmine, great job, brother.
Thanks.
Did you find it out?
This is why you
American
shouldn't drink.
Hustle.
This is why you shouldn't drink alcohol, bro.
All right, so what was the name of it?
American Hustle.
American
Yes,
Hustle.
yes. American Hustle, honey. I was trying to get my wife to. Now, The Fighter was made in Philly.
So, Jasmine, when are you gonna connect with me and do some of those Band-Aid ration videos I like to do?
I need to think of a good time.
You too, Leech. You seem interested in what I mentioned to
Yeah.
you too. I want to get back to doing them, man. They're fun.
Okay.
I really tighten them up and like clean them up and whatnot and everything. I'm not doing them 47 minutes long anymore.
Right. I've been I've definitely been jonesing to try to hear them, but I'm holding out for your reveal.
Oh well, you know what? Listen. You mean the reactions? Okay.
Yes, the reaction. Yeah.
No, hold out. Seriously, it's worth it. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Like honestly, I think that you do really good on a reaction video. To be honest with you, I think you would. Cool. Are you musically knowledgeable?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Jasmine,
I love music.
Yeah, I figured you probably did. Jasmine, are you musically knowledgeable at all?
With Band-Aid?
No, in general, are you musically knowledgeable?
Yeah.
I'm really not, to be honest with you. I don't know that much about music. You know, historically, I know some of the older, older music and what music was popular, what times and whatnot, and everything, right? But I don't understand certain structures of songs and stuff like that, and whatnot. I don't understand some,
those. I think it's mostly part of music theory. Oh no, I'm not knowledgeable then.
Okay.
That's more of a music theory thing.
It doesn't matter. The whole point, you've seen lots of reaction videos on YouTube, man. You know how it is. As long as you're organic and authentic, that's all people care about.
Yeah.
So listen, brother, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for being willing. Folks, I just want to put it out there right now and let you know that I've had to make changes over here in the Bleeding Edge and whatnot, right? Like, I have the smallest team, basically, that I've ever had since I've had the Bleeding Edge going and whatnot with Cyber, right? As far as, our regular guests and whatnot that we have. And that's okay because we thrive on collaboration anyway, right? And thank you, thank God, I have, good friends like Jasmine that come on and say, hey, I don't need to make individual content. I'd rather support you. That's very humbling. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot and everything. And I really appreciate that, brother. I hope you know that. I love you. And
love you too, dude.
you know what I'm saying? And it's good to have you on the panel, bro.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on.
What does it feel like to be on the show, do to live again and everything, man?
Loved it. It reminds me of why I enjoy making content.
Do you like living? I mean, we used to talk about making long form content back in the day.
Yeah, long form content's I'm pretty, how do I say, iffy. I prefer more long form in terms of writing than video, but I guess in some days today, long form video content, hey, I'm for it.
When you make that 1 minute video content, man, if you're intelligent at all, right, Leech, you have to evolve past that shit, right, Jasmine? At some point, I mean, do you see why I like it this better than doing that shit?
Mm-hmm.
You can't this is good. You can actually have a good environment, and get to know people and really be able to have good chemistry on shows, right? It's fun.
Yeah.
And I think that Leech, I just wanted to kind of just thank you too. It was really helpful of you, and I really appreciate it. You wanting to come on and try to jump on as many of the shows as you could and whatnot. I was just saying to Jasmine, I made a lot of changes recently and whatnot and everything, right? I'm really really going all in on the Bleeding Edge and whatnot and everything, getting my brand straight and everything and whatnot, right? And getting into start probably doing some Patreon stuff and whatnot. And right now,
very cool.
I'm recording more B-roll and shit. That's why I did was going to go ahead and use my GoPro.
Awesome.
To kind of shoot from the back, and I like to do stuff like that. And whatnot is B-roll. I record my own shows with my own cameras and shit.
Okay. Yeah.
But either way, no, we're gonna do some Patreon stuff and whatnot and everything, right? And go in that direction. And I'd love to do reaction videos with you guys though too. And if anything, you guys got along really well, I thought, in the show. If you guys want to come together and react together, we'll all team up, the three of us, and we'll react to Band-Aid. I'm down with that. That'd be dope. That'd be dope too.
I'm down too.
Cool. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I think you two together would be great reacting to Bandmaid, to tell you the truth. They would, again, bring that nice contrast
Yeah.
of people that, maybe look at music a different way just because of the cultural differences, the age differences, the age gaps.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The generational differences.
That's a cool angle on that too. Yeah.
It's important, man. Jess,
Yeah.
you agree, right? I mean, that's how important that is to me on the shows and whatnot. Everything is having that kind of contrast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, guys, so no, listen, we're gonna get out of here, guys.
Okay,
thanks for giving me the whole 2.5 hours. I didn't want to go too far, but we got a lot done, right? And I like where things are going. And I think that probably, if anything, the next part, what we'll probably try to do is get into Thrawn, right? And like head into that lore, go deep dive kind of into the Mandalorian lore.
Sure.
Whatnot, and flush some of that out. And I've got some Google Slides stuff put together, whatnot, that I've been doing while we were. That's why I didn't know Nate was there. Because I've got pictures of Mandalore the Great and everything and whatnot that, like tamed the first Mythosaur and all that shit. You know what I mean? Whatnot. And first inherited the Darksaber, who's a former Jedi, right? Or no, that was Vizsla.
Yeah.
No, but either way, no. So part 2, we'll probably try to do more lore and just kind of run through a couple episodes just to set up kind of like 7, 8, and 9, and then wrap up in part 3, and we'll go ahead and kind of talk about Ahsoka and what we talked about earlier in the show about the connectivity.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm actually been reading about this thing can't even show. Hold on.
What do you got? The Thrawn book?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Awesome.
Oh, very cool.
Hey, you know what? Honestly,
Three-fourths done.
That's awesome. I was thinking about it, guys, and folks out there. And I want to just point out that I really appreciate all of you on YouTube. That we get most of our views and stats on YouTube basically off of just you guys that watch us in video form, not from our lives. We do better on all of the other platforms we're on than we do on YouTube, but we prefer to be on YouTube as our main spot. And really appreciate you. And, I want you to know that we're going to be covering everything Star Wars that comes out as much as we can. Even if that, I have a Monday show I'm going to start here soon. And if I end up having to use that just to cover Star Wars and MCU when stuff comes out and stuff overlaps or whatever, that's where I'll use it. I'll use that for show to do that so I can cover everything. Occulty, the Jude Law one, right? The Skeleton Crew, whatever, all that.
Yeah.
I want to do it, and then of course the films will come out, and we'll review those films too. We'll go all in,
indeed.
right?
Awesome.
Then we'll be covering the DC too, and all the Gun Saffron shit and whatnot when they come out with and whatnot. We won't cover every series that comes out, but we'll cover a lot of them, and we'll do all the movies. And we'll keep growing.
I think I'm definitely going to go on the Flash with you because seeing all these trailers, man, I cannot wait for that friggin' movie. And I'm not even a huge DC fan, but
Hammer saw it already. I'm not going to tell you what he said.
No way.
He saw it, yeah. And yeah. Let's just say he was like thumbs up.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but no, and shout out to you, Hammer. Hopefully, we'll see you on the next installment. But no, folks, I want to thank you again. I want to thank Jassim, my brother, The Real Wrath of Khan, with his new title. I love it. Jason Leach, thank you very much for coming on.
It was a pleasure. Anytime I get to just talk about Star Wars for 2.5 hours, I'm friggin' there.
Yeah,
hey,
you can count on me, man.
I'm telling you right now. Honestly, it's nice to be able to have it's nice to be able to feel good enough, to have enough clarity and energy and whatnot to be able to invest your time into something like this where I am re-energized. I feel like I'm becoming a Star Wars fan now.
Yeah.
Finally, right? When I never felt like I ever was my whole life, and I'm 40. So that's reinvigorating, man. It helps kind of spark that your own, you taking better care of yourself and whatnot, wanting to be more motivated to tighten your shit up.
Yeah.
So that and the massage parlors, right? You gotta get massaged up, baby.
I gotta come down to Daytona and see what's going on down there, man.
Hey, man, I don't know, there's some crazy shit over there, bro. If you want to fuck with true knowledge on some bleeding edge shit over in Daytona Beach, just be prepared, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit could go in all kinds of different places.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Jackson, we should start doing reaction videos of going to massage parlors. Right?
Okay, I've only been to one place for massage, and I paid for an hour. They only gave me 45 minutes of massage, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back to any massage parlors now.
Did they offer you a hand
the last
job?
15 was supposed to be for your Your tug. You got the
Did they,
rub.
but did
and
they
you
offer?
got
Did they offer you a hand job or anything? With
No,
that? Or a blow job or
why would
something?
no. I only want just a full body massage. That is all.
What?
Well, no, they didn't do full
Man,
body.
why
They
would you
did
waste
your
your
pee-pee.
Why would you waste your time going to a fucking a massage
Like
or
a
whatever,
legit one, right?
and not
Come on
and
now.
not get your dick sucked or something like that? Are you kidding me?
I only go to the legit ones. Why?
Bro, listen, you gotta understand, bro.
I'm not going to the
Leech,
ones.
Leech, you need to explain
Con.
this to Jasper or what?
All right, Con, hear me out. The masseuse is supposed to pay attention to where the tension is, right, and relieve that tension. So you know, especially being a young guy, where most of your attention is. And
So
it
next
needs
time
to
you
be-
go,
it
take
needs to be
a
relieved.
$50 bill out and just set it right next to, like, on the floor. Drop it on the floor, the ground, right? Seriously, like when she walks away or whatever, whatnot, or set it on a table or something and just put it right there, and she'll know exactly what the fuck that means.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that'll cover whatever. From there, you'll figure out what you can get. That will like, she'll be like, ooh, $50. So she'll be like, then you can figure out what you can do with that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Good thing Leech has his headphones on.
Don't give her 20. If you give her 20, she's just gonna jerk you off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know what, folks? Listen, this is just a little bit of Bleeding Edge style massage parlor coaching. And Leech, thank you for teaming up with me on that, my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, good thing
I was playing a character and based on everything that I've heard about these places. Okay, so
Hey, good thing I'm here on the show just to prevent this show from going like full rated R.
We already wait a minute. We passed full rated R a long time ago,
we're
brother.
PG-13 because of me.
Jasmine, no, it doesn't work that way, dude. You understand? I've said so. Listen, people don't understand. I don't have to worry about YouTube. On YouTube and every other platform we've ever been on, there's never been any problems. Although when I covered political content, right? That's the only time anybody fuck with me.
Yeah.
Ever since I've done the MCU's Bleeding Edge, nobody fucks with our content. We've never gotten any strikes or any kind of like issues or anything or complaints from anybody, any platforms we're on as our content about anything I say. I know the rules, man. Right? Like, I mean, I don't get like, intoxicatedly drunk or whatever, like during shows. I try not to anyway. So, no, brother, I'm sorry, but you're not that innocent to the point where like you drop us down to PG or some shit.
You know that, but
no, I tame shit down when you're on the show too, because I know how you are, and with your virgin ears, to me and Leech compared to as far as the dirty shit we're into, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But we're dirty old men, so that's
Well, you will be too. You will be too, Con.
Yeah.
Retha Con. You're gonna be a dirty old man just like me and Leech eventually. You just don't know it yet. This is what you have to look forward to, motherfucker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got no words.
But you know what? Apparently, if you get married and have kids like Leech and you stay with your wife and shit and everything and all that, you get to have the grand piano and fucking that nice big couch and all that shit.
damn straight, man.
You know?
Look at this humble abode.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Listen.
All right, boys.
No, listen. Shout out to the Star Wars fandom. Please, folks, ring that fucking bell, right? And make sure that you know we're live and whatnot. Thank you for everybody that came on. Thank you, Dates Great. Cybernetic Shark, brother. I'll see you on Wednesday night when we are doing the DC animated film review of Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. We have let's see, 2 more installments, 2 more Sundays to finish up this this breakdown and recap of Mandalorian season 3. Indeed. And then basically on the Wednesday main show, when we get done with our next 3 DC animated films, we'll have Secret Invasion. So we'll be back to Marvel, back to doing episodical. We'll be back doing episodical Disney Plus Marvel reviews again. And the movie schedule, I believe that we're doing Desperate Measures this Friday, and then next Friday we're doing Tropic Thunder.
Love that movie.
Oh, I know, and you know what? Anybody that wants to come in out there, that's one of our creators or our friends, whatever, wants to come on. Leech, if you want to come on, just let me know, man.
I will let you know.
I don't care. I don't care how big the panel is for that shit.
As long as it works for my schedule at my work schedule, I'm good to go.
That's right. All right. Well, you know what, folks? We love you out there. God bless you. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
are going to take off.
Some of them going to bomb.
Just like they bombed in the comics.
What about this guy? You think this guy can make it for the Avengers?
Diamond Days, a ninja teaching flicks. I let me see the sign there. Come on in here, Ninja. Here's my Ninja. Diamond Days Ninja School. Come on down. What we're going to teach you, what we're going to teach you in our first episode is a proper stance and a proper kung fu. And you got your Judy chop, all right? You got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop. Now, what smart thing to do is like when you use a judo chopping, you gotta say it, for you beginners, like a Judy chop. Because what you don't want to do is like be a Judy chopping and a kung fu kicking, and there goes your leg. There ain't much home for one-legged ninja out there. Right there, hard as a rock, buddy. Let me show you something. I'll have last time, baby. Don't put it in front of your face. I don't want to hurt you. But you got me? But what we're going to do here, we're going to work on the ninja chop. So what we're going to do. You go a ninja chop. Well, now see, now sometimes it don't always work for a ninja. But it practice makes it perfect. Don't go ninja nobody. Don't need ninja. Alrighty? Now, them things there, if I was put them in my pockets, they'd get me for concealment of a deadly weapons. And say you got your some fella coming at you out in the trailer park. Regular cannon-backer, you say? No, says I. Watch this, people. Yeah, we just rolling through the trailer park. What's that? What's that fella doing? Ninja stars. Right there. That some fella jumps out behind a trailer on you. You got a football out yonder like that, and you can't get him caught up in your ninja outfit, And like if a fella's coming at you with
Dude, that guy lived right next door to me, man.
What the hell was that weapon he pulled out there? Was that a crack pipe? Like,
it looked like a damn skull can or something, didn't it?
Where did you find that?
Listen, that guy that he said that in, that is his interview tape for the Special Olympics Avengers.
That dude don't stand a prayer.
Oh,
that dude.
It's amazing something like that. That dude's probably popular as hell from that video.
Dude, that guy could beat Kate Bishop's ass.
Alpha Flight will whoop his ass. Puck will whoop his ass. Ninja chopping, man. Puck will whoop his ass. No.
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pain. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside, it's what you get.